Number 6 Gators, number 14 Bulldogs in a big Southeastern Conference football game. A game that brings out the best in both the Gators and the Bulldogs. Tremendous college football rivalry. Head coach Steve Spurrier has enjoyed unprecedented success against his rival from the north, as the Gators have won 7 in a row under Spurrier against the Georgia Bulldogs. But this Georgia team has a little more bite than the Bulldogs of the last several years, and this figures to be a good football game today. Champ Bailey standing deep as Robbie Stevenson kicks it off, and we're underway from Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville. Hines Ward. A big return for Ward as he crosses midfield and gives Georgia field position at the Florida 47. Rod Grady saved a touchdown for Florida. 58-yard return for the multi-purpose Hines Ward. Boy, what an athlete this young man is, Matt.
Tremendous athlete that, as we stated earlier, they finally found a home for him. You see him just splitting the seams, and then watch him nose where the sideline. He's trying to get outside. Good job by Robbie Stevenson to force him to the sideline, allowing Grady to come over and make the tackle. Excellent run by Hines Ward on the kickoff return.
Quarterback is Mike Bobo. They run an end around, and then Ward's throwing the ball, and there's nobody there except Fred Weary for Florida. Bulldogs go with the trickery on the first play from scrimmage. Florida's defense, McGrew back in there, healthy. Moten, Willie Rogers, Willie Cohen on the ends. Solid front four for the Gators, as are the linebackers, anchored by Dwayne Thomas, a young man who hails from right here in Jacksonville. And Fred Weary, we talked about him in the open, another Jacksonville native, can set the all-time interception record with a pick here today in his hometown. Nothing fancy this time. The give is to the tailback, Robert Edwards. Linebacker Darrell Owens, the redshirt freshman, number 56, made the tackle on Edwards. Mike Bobo, the senior quarterback from Thomasville, Georgia, having a fabulous season for the Bulldogs. There you see some of his numbers. Most impressive, Nat, that 12 touchdown, 2 interception ratio.
Well, that's a tremendous turnabout from last year, where he threw more interceptions than he did touchdowns. So he's doing a better job of protecting the football, making quality decisions before he turned the ball loose.
From the shotgun, Bobo throwing for Corey Allen, and it's picked off on a deflection by Tony George. I believe that Weary got a piece of it. Allen may have deflected it for Georgia, but it's George, the Gators' #1, that is able to make the catch.
Well, Corey Allen just did a tremendous job. Once he saw that the ball was going to be picked off by Fred Weary, he just goes up over the top of Fred Weary. But look at Tony George in your pictures. He stays alert, continues to float to the football, and comes up with the deflection.
Tony George with the interception. That's his second of the year, 4th career. Quarterback Doug Johnson back at the controls of the Florida offense, handing it off to Fred Taylor, who had 34 of those against Auburn 2 weeks ago. The Gators were able to grind out a win against the Tigers at Auburn. Greg Bright made the tackle. The numbers on Doug Johnson, the sophomore from Gainesville, serving a 1-game suspension in the last game against the Auburn Tigers, and is back operating the controls of Steve Spurrier's fun and gun offense today in Jacksonville. And off to Taylor again. Again, the middle linebacker, Bright, is there to plug the gap for the Bulldogs at about the 13-yard line. Let's take a look at Florida's offense for you. The fullback is the redshirt freshman Frazier. Fred Taylor, one of the top running backs in Florida football history. Senior from Belgrade. Jaquez Green, a record setter and wideout. That offensive line, a little switch there as Collins moves to left tackle, and Pat Browning makes his first start at right tackle for the Gators. Johnson on third down, feeling the pressure, a dangerous pass, and it is incomplete. A lot of pressure put on Johnson by number 91, Derek Boyd, I should say, and Florida will have to punt the football.
Well, David, this comes from good coverage downfield because Doug Johnson takes a 5-step drop and he's got time, but there's nobody open as he tries to come out, and here he does what has gotten him in trouble early this year is he tried to make a play when a play wasn't there and threw it up for grabs.
Robbie Stevenson standing back to punt for Florida at the goal line. Michael Greer, the deep man. Nice punt by Stevenson, beautiful punt, and a fair catch is made by Greer at the 38. A 49-yard punt for Stevenson without a Georgia return. Both teams have had one chance to operate, and the Bulldogs get the ball back when we return. Head coach Steve Spurrier talked a little bit earlier this week about that special feeling that Gators get when they play these Georgia Bulldogs in Jacksonville.
This is a school that the University of Florida has played more than any other. I think this is the 75th meeting between the two schools. Historically, they still are way ahead of us. I think they're 14 or 15 games ahead. Fortunately, the last several years, we've had the upper hand, and we're going to try our best to make sure we continue that. But it is a big game. So many times past, Georgia beat Florida to knock them out of the conference championship race. And if we're to be successful, we must beat Georgia. And so we know the importance of the game, but it's also very important for them. They're in the race for the SEC championship also. We've got the same record. So it's a crucial game for both schools this year.
Indeed it is. Both teams come in 6-1, 4-1 in the Southeastern Conference. And if the Gators can win, they would be well on their way to their 6th East Division championship under head coach Steve Spurrier. And if Georgia can win this game, then the Bulldogs are still in the thick of it. They come out of the Eastern Division as well. Georgia's second possession from its own 38. There was movement, I think, on the right side of Georgia's line as Willie Rogers jumped across to emphasize that point.
Big number 70, Chris Terry.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Tried to get an early start. You'll see the right tackle tries to get a good start, and Willie Rogers, being alert, goes across, makes contact. Giving the Gators an easy 5-yard penalty, a simple play.
Terry, a backup defensive tackle for the Bulldogs last year. This is his first year on the offensive side of the ball. Bobo stands in nicely under pressure. A good catch by tight end Larry Brown. Here's another great athlete for Georgia. Member of the Bulldog basketball team, and that guy, as you saw there, has some athletic ability with a leaping catch. You look at Brown, the tight end, Robert Edwards. He hadn't been injured early in his career. You wonder how good he would have been. Hines Ward might be the best athlete on this Georgia football team, and an offensive line, with the exception of Terry at right tackle, that is very experienced. Watch the catch by Larry Brown here.
Good job of going up with his left hand and pulling it down. Just an outstanding effort by the tight end.
Bulldogs show the option, and the Gators wrap them up. Owens and Peterson.
Well, David, you know the Gators had to be expecting this play with the problems that they had against LSU. You knew that Georgia would try and put this in. You saw a little bit from Auburn, but as you see, the Gators were burnt versus LSU, but they were prepared for it today.
No question that the Bulldogs took a few pages out of LSU's playbook on both sides of the ball. As will every opponent, I would imagine, that the Gators face the rest of the way. Anybody that beats a Steve Spurrier team has got to have done something right. Ward will throw it again, and this time it works. Larry Brown with the catch, and the big tight end is out of bounds at the Florida 30.
And what we're seeing this Georgia football team is, they have this year probably thrown to the tight end more than ever as they come back with a flanker around. On the reverse, gives it to Hind Warren, ex-quarterback, got a tremendous arm, squares his shoulders, hits that big target, Larry Brown, dragging him across the middle, and Tico Brown has to make the saving tackle.
Larry Brown, a great athlete. That might be the two best athletes on this team.
And there you see Hines Ward letting you know that he can still throw the football, as he's already thrown 2 passes in this ballgame.
That's his first completion of the season. Tailback Olandis Gary is the ball carrier. Darrell Owens was there to make the stop for Florida. On first down for the Bulldogs, as Georgia threatens for the second time in the first quarter to score against the Gators. This Georgia offense has already run a couple of end arounds. They've thrown the ball out of it.
And that's what you can do when you've got a wide receiver like a Hines Ward that has so much ability, so much athletic skill. He just gives us such great dimensions.
Robert Edwards is in for the touchdown.
Good blocking by that entire left side of the Georgia offensive line, as they were able to knock down the Gator defenders, giving him room to cut back, and he was able to split the seam in the defense. Just a good job offensively. And now we get a look at what Robert Edwards sees as he cuts back behind those blockers and he trots into the end zone.
Georgia's extra point is good. Hap Hines knocks it through. And Georgia, which didn't score last year against Gators until it was 37-0, but they've taken an early lead today. And has not been the same since. And the Gators have fumbled a kick. Still no indication. But Florida's got it. Looks like Dwayne Thomas coming off the bottom of that stack, the senior from Jacksonville.
Well, the Gators get lucky here. You know, you can ill afford to give the Georgia Bulldogs the football in your territory when they are really pumped up right now. They've got all of the momentum at this point in time, so you know, the Gators need to get something cranked up.
All right, Doug Johnson unable to move the Florida offense on the Gators' first possession. Florida was backed up inside its 15. Here's Bo Carroll on an end around. Good blocking up the field, and Carroll will have a Florida first down at around the 47. Jeff Harris, the sophomore, another Jacksonville native for Georgia, number 13, made the stop for the Bulldogs. Bo Carroll, speedster out of Norristown, Pennsylvania, has not been used a lot by Steve Spurrier, but we might see him here today against the Bulldogs. You look at Georgia's defense, a solid front line of linebackers led by Greg Bright. Georgia's leading tackler came in with 76 on the season, and that secondary with the Baileys on the corners very good as well. Taylor bangs a couple of tough yards out near midfield. Travis Stroud, the senior from Atlanta, made the tackle on Fred Taylor. Really was able to grind it out against Auburn in the victory at Auburn 2 weeks ago. Let's go to Larry Battelle for an injury update. Larry?
Well, David, you may have noticed Johnny Rutledge not on the field that first defensive series. He's sick right now. He's just trying to get his strength back. He may be in there, he may not, but that's a big loss. The Butkus Award semifinalist not ready to play just yet.
Well, that is a big loss for the Gators as Johnson trying to connect for a big play over the middle of the field to Jamie Richardson, and the pass is incomplete.
Well, you had the matchup you're looking for. You got Jamie Richardson going down the center of the field versus a two-deep zone against the linebacker, Arontas Grant, and the ball is just slightly overthrown as he makes a gallant effort diving for the football. Good effort by Jamie Richardson to try and come down with it.
Richardson, the sophomore from Tallahassee. Richardson makes the catch at the 45. Almost an interception by Glenn Ford. He just about timed his approach perfectly now.
Well, he's been close twice. On third down, the opening series, he came very close on the pass to Aaron Kenny. And you'll see here that he just missed this as Jamie Richardson is able to catch it and turn away and pick up some extra yardage. But Glenn Ford is getting a good jump on the football, David.
Gators need about 3. And they give it to Taylor. And Taylor picks up the first down. Orantes Grant, number 58, made the stop for Georgia. Florida is able to pick up back-to-back first downs now at the Bulldog 40-yard line.
And this is what you want to be able to see from this Gator football team, that when it's third and medium, third and short, you don't always have to throw the football, as you see those big offensive linemen just coming off the football, getting ground, giving Fred Taylor room to run.
Interception by Champ Bailey. Bailey, the sophomore from Folkston, Georgia. An outstanding athlete, plays on both sides of the football. And I tell you what, Doug Johnson just threw that ball into no man's land.
And usually when he makes a mistake, it's throwing the ball down the middle of the field. And I have no idea who he's trying to go to. This ball just sails, and it's way over the head. Like he was trying to go to Jamie Richardson, who was covered. But Champ Bailey, sitting back playing the free safety, saw it all the way.
An easy interception for Bailey, and the Bulldogs have a 7-0 lead, and now they've got the football. A very satisfied coach right now. His team is off to a good start. That's what his team needed to do against a Florida team that is very opportunistic and very tough to catch once they get a rolling.
Well, you know, the key to a football game of this magnitude is getting off to a good start and forcing the other team to play your ball game. And so far, the Gators are playing into the hands of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, Bobo got away from Beauchamp, but he could not elude Willie Cohen's. And the Gators, who lead the Southeastern Conference in quarterback sacks, get their first one today. They average 5 per game.
Well, Tim Beauchamp gets pressure in the pocket. Even though he's eluded, he breaks down the timing of the route. And there you see Willie Cohen's coming off his blocker, making the sack. Good pressure by the Gator front 4.
Nice play by Cohen's, and good news for the Gators. Johnny Rutledge, the big playmaker, linebacker out of Belgrade, is on the field, number 58. Nice throw and catch, and a beautiful catch. Mike Harris really popped the receiver, Tony Small. But Small held on, and Georgia has a first down.
And it's really tough unless you get up in these defenders' face, because Mike Bobo has his confidence. He goes back, steps up, got plenty of time to throw the football, puts it on the money. Small comes down with the catch before Tico Brown can get there. Just a soft zone as Elijah Williams is giving him plenty of room, playing deep third. And it's Mike Harris, not Tico Brown, that's late getting there.
Well, you know, this game means a lot to the Jacksonville natives on both teams. Tony Small played his high school football at Forest High here in Jacksonville. That is his first catch of the day. Hand off to pass, and Patrick Pass tries to turn the corner. Good yardage. Another Georgia first down, or close to it, as Mike Harris makes the stop for Florida.
And unlike what we thought coming into this ball game, that Georgia would come out running the football, as you see the ball handed off to Patrick Pass, and he's able to get outside. The Bulldogs are actually, David, using the pass to set up the run, as they've got the Gators back on their heels, worrying about Mike Bobo throwing the football.
Patrick Pass, only a sophomore. Big, strong runner out of Tucker, Georgia. Bulldogs a little bit short of the first down. It's second down. Robert Edwards picks up the first down for the Bulldogs. Wayne Thomas made the tackle. But Georgia is moving the football again, leading 7-0 with 6:36 to play in the first quarter.
This is nothing pretty. This is called, you need second and short. You're just trying to pick up a couple yards to get first down. Robert Edwards cutting back, doing a good job of taking his time, being patient, reading the head of the blocker, coming back behind him for the first down.
Another Florida linebacker is down as Bobo talks with Jim Donnan. That is Dwayne Thomas, the senior from Jacksonville. Mike Peterson is on the sideline with some kind of injury. We haven't got an update on Peterson. Johnny Rutledge has been in and out because of an apparent illness, and now Thomas is shaken up, although he's coming off the field. Let's see if we can pick up what happened to Dwayne.
Looked like he's just got his leg twisted underneath as he got bent back, as he tried to come back, as Edwards cut back there, David. But you know, the thing that happens in football, and it's kind of amazing, is when the injuries start to roll in one position, all of a sudden everybody starts to get hurt.
Lined up at the quarterback, and a defensive back, Champ Bailey, lined up in a wide out spot as well. They're pulling out all the stops today.
This is called, let's see if we can confuse the Gators, and they did a super job of knowing who was in the ball game, because you see Tony George was not fooled. He was going wherever Champ Bailey went. That was his man. So as they run this low option with Hines Ward making the pitch, there you see Tony George step for step with Champ Bailey. Great defensive play by Tony George,
who already has one interception today. Great pickoff by Elijah Williams. Williams gets his first career interception, and you got to feel good about it for that young man who moved from the tailback spot to the defensive side of the ball. He's been waiting and waiting and waiting for a chance to pick one off Nat Moore, and he finally got one in a big situation against Georgia.
And I'll tell you, David, I'll tell you what he does. This time, he stays close to the receiver. He's got deep third, but look how close he is. He's right there, so when he breaks in, he just steps right in front of him. Unlike the previous pass, where Smalls was able to catch the football because he was back off, this time he stayed close to the receiver and came down with the pick.
Well, Mike Bobo has thrown as many interceptions today as he had in the previous 7 games this year. Johnson stands tall in the pocket, rifles a strike to Jacquez Green, and the Gators have a first down at Georgia's 42.
Good throw and catch. Doug Johnson's able to fit it in. You know, the Bulldogs are sitting back playing zone, and Doug Johnson is going to have to be careful throwing the ball over the middle, but that time it was a pinpoint pass where Jacquez made a great catch and was able to get the first down.
Now the Bulldogs playing a nickel defense here as Johnson dumps it right into the middle of the line, and that's not going to work for Florida. Bulldogs had people all around the action as Fred Taylor had absolutely nowhere to run. Boyd and Cochran both snuffed it out very early for Georgia.
Well, to run a screen pass, you got to get a rush. And when you get, you know, you got everybody blocking, and there's just no rush. Quarterback's got to hold on to that one.
Cochran looked up, and Taylor was standing right in front of him with the football. Florida getting about 4 or 5 yards to the Georgia 37. Ron Frazier was on the receiving end, the fullback. Jeff Harris, like several times before, Len Ford almost picked a couple off. This is pretty close here, too.
Yeah, this is a long pass to try and throw it out there for a 2-3 yard gain. I tell you, what Georgia's doing, they're sit back playing that soft zone. Everybody's got great vision on the quarterback, and they're reacting on his arm motion, David.
No backs for Johnson. And a nice catch by Green and a clutch play by Jacquez. And the Gators have a first down at Georgia's 26.
This play has been bread and butter all year for the Gators. Run Jacquez down, little curl route, and he does a super job of coming back to the quarterback and then catching the ball in his hands. And we see Doug Johnson double pump there and then getting down for the first down.
Well, Johnson, as you look at Green, who now has 2 catches, Johnson has completed his last 4. Beginning to get a little bit of a roll going. Now Johnson changes the play. Short drop, quick toss to Green. That's where he's very dangerous, but that's a pretty good athlete over there on the corner. Champ Bailey was able to hang with Jacquez Green.
The Bulldogs wanted to come with the blitz, but they showed it a little early, and that gave Doug Johnson plenty of time to check off, and he checked off and went to his marquee receiver, Jacquez Green, and Jacquez gets one-on-one on Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey grabs on and holds on for life. That's scary, being isolated one-on-one with Jacquez with the ball in his hands.
Taylor gives it back to Johnson, then has to make a key block. Oh, it is incomplete. And it looked like it ricocheted right off the chest of Jamie Richardson.
Well, I don't know if anybody got a hand on it, but he was wide open. And what happened there, he was wide open for a long period of time, and it gave the Bulldogs a chance to come back. Here's a little trickery by the Gators as Fred does a tremendous job as he blocks him twice. You know, very seldom you have to block the same guy twice on one play, but this looked like a ball that Jamie Richardson needed to catch or should have come down with.
Johnson changing the play again. Gives it to Taylor to try to pick up the first down, and Taylor won't get it. Greg Bright, that senior linebacker from Moultrie, Georgia, plugged the gap again. Number 45, an outstanding player for the Georgia defense.
Well, Bright will get credit for plugging the line of scrimmage and plugging the hole, but it's that defensive line that refused to give ground is what makes the difference, as Fred Taylor has nowhere to run with the football.
It is late in the first quarter. Florida going for it on 4th and 2. The toss sweep to Fred Taylor. And Taylor is close to the first down. He only needed the 16. That's about what he got. It'll depend upon the spot, as Greg Bright made another tackle for the Bulldogs. And the spot does not appear to be as favorable as it at first looked to be.
Well, it's wherever the ball is when your knee hits the ground.
This is close. I don't think he has it. Boy, that was close. By less than an inch. It was all dependent upon the spot.
And that's what you cannot do. You cannot put it in the hands of the official. And Fred Taylor did an excellent job of trying to get down and get low and turn it up hard, as he's got blockers up in front, and he just turns it up. Greg Bright makes a great play of getting across, hitting him in the backfield, not allowing him to go forward for the first down. Excellent defensive stand by the Georgia Bulldogs.
They've held and they protect the 7-0 lead in the first quarter from Jacksonville. Georgia scored on a touchdown romp by Robert Edwards. The only score of the game so far. Edwards gets the handoff. Edwards has a blocker out front. Robert Edwards, a first down for the Bulldogs at the 31-yard line. Georgia's offensive line is doing a good job. Corey Allen upfield through a nice block. Wide receiver. And the Gators defense has not really put the clamps on the Bulldogs all day.
Well, what's happening is the linebackers are getting hooked. They can't afford to let that running back get outside. They've got to get upfield, turn it back in. And that time the whole defense got hooked.
Handoff to Edwards again. This time he bangs out for a couple of yards. Mike Harris was there to make the tackle on Robert Edwards. Big week last week against Kentucky for Edwards, and he's at 49 yards already in the first quarter today.
Well, coming into the ball game, I know he had good speed, but he's got great feet, as you see. Once he's in the grasp of the tackle, he continues to keep his legs moving, and he's twisting and turning and moving his feet at all time, making him a very elusive target.
Almost another Florida interception as the ball was deflected. Should have been caught. by Patrick Pass, but he fumbled it away. Florida almost had another interception. Let's check with Larry Battelle.
David, you talk about the Gator defense and the linebackers getting hooked. Well, maybe the best in the SEC at not getting hooked, Michael Peterson, but Mike Peterson has sprained the MCL in his knee. We won't see Pete again today. Dwayne Thomas is playing with a pinched nerve in his shoulder, so his strength is affected. And we already told you about Johnny Rutledge and his illness. So Florida really hurting at linebacker right now.
And that is ironic because, as you pointed out, man, this has been a strength of this football team all season.
It's been the strength, and Keith Kelsey is not suited up today, so without a doubt, that has to hurt the Gator football team as we get a penalty stopping play.
Well, it might have been a delay of game. Georgia might not have snapped the ball in time. That's what the call is. The 25-second clock ran out on Georgia. Only the Bulldogs' second penalty, and they are first in the league in penalty yards. They've only been averaging 25 yards per game via the penalties. And, of course, the Gators right near the bottom of the Southeastern Conference, 11 out of 12 clubs getting penalized for over 70 yards per game on average.
That's a big difference.
Bobo steps up in the pocket again. Hines Ward with the catch, but that All-American candidate, number 24, will not let Ward go.
And that's the matchup that we expected in crucial situations to find Fred Worry on Hines Ward, and he was right there in his back pocket as he caught the football.
I tell you, that young man is having an All-American season. He should make some All-American teams this year, Nat.
He should make quite a few with the plays that he has made. And, you know, he's not a big guy at 185 pounds, 5'10", but he's always around the football and has tremendous hands where if he's got an opportunity, he'll come down with the catch.
Back to the game.
Wes Green back to return the punt. Dax Langley will kick it away for Georgia. Langley hangs it high. Green will try and return it. He got a nice block on the corner. Look out. Green will step out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Nifty little return after a 64-yard punt by Langley. That was a 16-yard return by Green.
And that's what makes Jacquez so talented and so dangerous, is that the first guy, he will make him miss him himself. And then he gets it into the wall, and he's able to pick up the blocking. And that's how he was able to get those 16 yards that time, David. Just a good job of making the first guy miss and then picking up his blockers downfield.
Well, the Gator volleyball team will host South Carolina on Sunday, November 2nd, 2 o'clock in the O'Connell Center. If you bring a canned food item, you'll receive free admission. If you'd like more information, call 352-375-GO-US. On first down, Orontes Grant, the sophomore from Atlanta, makes a big hit for the Georgia defense, and that'll be the final play of the first quarter. Well, the Bulldogs have held Doug Johnson, Steve Spurrier, and company in check. After 1 quarter of play from Jacksonville, the Bulldogs 7, the Gators nothing. Second quarter begins from Jacksonville. Georgia 7, Florida nothing. Doug Johnson throwing on first down. Receivers McCaslin. And McCaslin rode a Bulldog for the first down. Orontes Grant got the piggyback ride, about 5 additional yards, courtesy Eugene McCaslin. First quarter from the Gator Bowl. Both quarterbacks making mistakes. Mike Bobo throwing it deep. This pass up for grabs, and Tony George, the Gator strong safety, is able to make the interception. Doug Johnson throwing a ball up for grabs over the center of the field, and Champ Bailey with the first quarter interception for the Bulldogs. And then Bobo again trying to connect with Hines Ward this time. Watch the play by Elijah Williams. Perfect coverage by the senior from Milton, Florida. The Gators intercepted 2 Georgia passes in the first quarter. Georgia picked off 1 Doug Johnson toss. But the Bulldogs managed a 27-yard run from Robert Edwards, and that's the difference in the game right now. Georgia leading 7-0. From Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, David Steele and Nat Moore on Sunshine Network. The shadows falling in the late afternoon. A beautiful day. Temperature at about 80 degrees when the game started. Settling down into the mid-70s as evening falls on Jacksonville. Johnson, he threw that one. And And it's going to be intercepted by Georgia. Kirby Smart, a junior from Bainbridge, Georgia, got the interception as Johnson throwing under pressure again. Nat, he just throws it up there for anybody to catch, and the Georgia man had the best chance for it.
Well, Brandon Talbot comes inside of Pat Browning, and he's right on Doug Johnson as he's throwing the football. But once again, he's throwing this ball into coverage. There's 3 Georgia defenders as he tries to go to Aaron Kinney. This is just another bad decision by Doug Johnson as he throws the ball into coverage. There's just no way he can complete this ball.
So, both teams have intercepted 2 passes. Georgia still leads 7-0, and they've got the ball. The Georgia Bulldogs, ranked number 14 in the country, lead 6th-ranked Florida. Early in the second quarter, Georgia football on first down at their own 38. Edwards swapped. Johnny Rutledge was in there, along with Mike Moten. Tell you, Nat, Doug Johnson is getting pressure from Georgia, but he's throwing off his back foot, and as you said, not making good decisions here in the first half.
Right there, he's not able to step up and throw the football, but the bad part about it is the decision that he made. The fact that he threw the ball into coverage, you're trying to go to your tight end with 3 defenders around him. You cannot make those kind of mistakes in a big ball game like this, baby.
Well, Johnson might be a bit rusty after not playing in a game for 3 weeks. The end-around award. Well, that Gator defense showing off its speed. Tony George came across the field and was able to tackle Ward from behind. Big game so far for Tony George. Already an interception and several big tackles. Another one here.
Well, Tony George, in his assignment, on his alignment, you know, he knows that he's got Hines Ward, who's the most versatile athlete on Georgia's team, so he's going with him no matter where he goes. Here's a good look at the versatility of Hines Ward.
Over 3,300 yards and all-purpose offense at Georgia. Bobo on third down, and the pass almost intercepted again off of a deflection, and Georgia will have to kick it away. Jermaine Wiggins was the intended receiver, the tight end out of East Boston, Massachusetts. Tico Brown, the free safety, standing right in there defensively. Gator fans trying to get that offense going. Florida defensively has once again done the job today, but fun and gun is sputtering in Jacksonville as Dax Langley ready to punt the ball into a setting sun coming out over that south end zone grandstand. Langley does not get a good whack at it, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. And you know, that sun, as you mentioned a moment ago, off the air, Nat, we'll talk about it in a moment, but Jamie Richardson might have lost that potential touchdown pass in the sun just a moment ago. Well, the Gators still trailing 7-0, but they've got the ball in pretty good field position. Ball again. This time starting at their own 34. Jamie Richardson almost breaking free. Finally brought down at the Bulldog 44 by Kirby Smart. I mentioned that Richardson, I think he might have lost that potential touchdown pass in the sun a moment ago. Makes a good play here.
Well, he goes down. He's just running a little out route. He catches the football, does a good job of breaking the tackle of Jeff Harris, and then it takes Kirby Smart to get him down by the ankles. But yeah, early on, the Gators were actually going away from the sun, which means the receiver has to look back into the sun. And on that pass, I think that he might have lost the ball in the sun because it's not typical for Jamie Richardson not to make that type of catch. It was just too easy a catch, David.
Well, that was the Gators' best chance to score. They've got another opportunity, but that's a busted play as Johnson is looking for somebody to give the football up to, and he and Fred Taylor are talking about it now because obviously there was some confusion between those two.
Well, you know, this is usually when you say, well, was it the quarterback or was it the tailback? And if you look at which way the offensive line went and which way the tailback went, you'd have to think it was a quarterback mistake. But he did a wise thing. He didn't try and make anything special happen. He got down, took the loss.
A loss of 4. Caslin unable to hold on. It'll be 3rd down.
And these are the kind of plays that get you beat. This time Doug Johnson does a good job of avoiding the sack, getting out of the pocket, and he does the smart thing. He waits, now he squares his shoulders. He's got Eugene McCaslin wide open, and that's a ball that McCaslin has got to come down with. You know, when you need to make a play to help your ball club up, you've got to make that catch. They need some help. They need someone to step forward and make a play for them, David.
Well, you saw a big 69 out leading the block there as Johnson scrambled. That's Zach Pillar back in the ball game. Junior from Tallahassee unable to start. He's been banged up by injuries all year. He's in the game now. Johnson throws another nice pass, and Richardson again can't hold on, and the Gators have a case of fumbleitis out here today.
Well, Doug Johnson got hit just as he threw the football, but that's another ball that was catchable that Jamie Richardson wasn't able to come down with. And I think he let the ball play him instead of him playing the football. Brandon Talbot does a good job. He's pushed up outside, but then he comes back in, not giving up, and he's able to hit Doug Johnson just as he releases the football. Now, this is a catchable ball, and when I say he let the ball play him, he tried to body catch it instead of catching it in his hand. He's got to reach back with 2 hands and catch it in his hands.
So that's at least the 3rd drop pass. And the Gators take a delay of game. Robbie Stevenson quite happy to back up 5 yards to try and down this football in the end zone, or just shy of the end zone rather.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
I'm sort of surprised that Georgia took the penalty instead of refusing it, giving them more room to try and drop it inside the 20-yard line.
Stevenson hasn't had a lot of practice at this particular kick in games anyhow. I'm sure he works on it in practice, but Gators have not punted the ball in this situation very often in his career. And he hits it too hard into the end zone, and Georgia will bring it out to the 20-yard line. A 52-yard punt, but not the end result that Steve Spurrier and Robbie Stevenson had in mind. Georgia football at the Dog 20. By an outstanding coach. There's a good coach. Georgia Bulldogs have really turned their fortunes around in the last several seasons. They are a very competitive football team on a national level. Patrick pass. He's going to lose. Javon Kearse wouldn't let him go, and then got help from his friends.
Well, Georgia continually try and take advantage of this Gator pursuit, but the Gators are doing a better job of staying at home as Javon Kearse, the outside rush, staying at home to keep good leverage and not allows Patrick Pass to get outside of him. There you see Fred Worry and the Gator defense trying to fire this Gator football team up.
Screen set up, a lot of room for Robert Edwards. Edwards has a first down as he is out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Perfect execution by Georgia on the screen, and Bobby Stoops can only shake his head on Florida's sideline.
Great job of acting by this Georgia Bulldog team as you see them letting them in, and they caught the Gators in a blitz, and that's what really hurts. You catch the Gators in a blitz, so your linebackers are not sitting back looking at the play. Mike Harris, coming over making the tackle.
Boy, the man that Edwards let in there was Johnny Rutledge, the linebacker, and that's the spot that Edwards took on the field. Rutledge's spot back on Florida's side of the ball. Well, there was nobody there for the Gators. Pass is deflected. Willie Rogers got a hand on it. The senior from Miami. It'll be second down for Georgia.
This is where Willie Rogers see the three-step drop. No, he can't get there. Just gets up as high as he can. Is able to swat the ball down as they were trying to get the ball to Corey Allen on a slant route.
The Gators come with 5 defensive backs and put Thad Bullard in the football game, lined up on the left side, number 11. On second down. Handoff goes up the middle. Edwards spinning across the 30. Tripped up by Tico Brown, junior from Miami. And Georgia will have a third down play, and they'll need about 9 for a 1st and 10.
Well, David, Tico Brown probably has no idea how big a play this is that he makes there as Moten misses the tackle. If he doesn't make this tackle, Robert Edwards is off to the races once again.
Well, Edwards already has accounted for the only points of the game, a 27-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. It is 7-0 Georgia. Wide open is Corey Allen. Allen near midfield. The Bulldogs convert on 3rd down and 9. And there's another injured Gator on the field. Looks like it's Dwayne Thomas who would be down for the 2nd time today.
And we're really hurting with if Dwayne Thomas goes down, Keith Kelsey is not dressed here today, so the Gators are really hurting at that linebacker slot. I guess they'd have to bring in Teddy Sims or move Darrell Owens to the middle slot. The Gators here sitting back in a zone defense, and Thad Bullard just overruns this as he's going out looking for a receiver. Never saw the release of the football.
Mike Bobo making big plays on 3rd down for the Bulldogs. You look at Dwayne Thomas, solid middle linebacker on the sideline now for the Gators. Florida has Darrell Owens now in the middle linebacker spot. Johnny Rutledge is able to make the tackle on 1st down, a loss of about a yard for Georgia.
Johnny Rutledge moves over to the middle linebacker slot, and Darrell Owens comes in at the Wills linebacker slot. And there we saw the effect. Johnny Rutledge comes right in, makes a play, moving to the middle.
Georgia is 2nd down and 11. 7:45 remaining in the first half of the football game. Protection collapse. Bobo is down. Javon Curse lays on top of him. And the Gators get to the Bulldog quarterback for the 2nd time today.
Good pressure by that defensive line as Mike Bobo had nowhere to go with the football. He couldn't see the open receiver. There was some confusion in the Gators secondary. But that defensive line just did a tremendous job coming off the football, pushing the O-line back into Mike Bobo where he's got nowhere to throw the football. And then he panics, and Javon Curse is right there with help from Johnny Rutledge.
The supreme challenge for Bobo this time on 3rd down and about 20. A low snap out of the shotgun. Interception. Oh, look out. Willie Cohen at the 22-yard line. When he had it, you and I both thought the same thing. He might go all the way, but we forget. We're not talking about a world-class sprinter there in number 55.
But when you make a play like that, David, you don't have to be a world-class sprinter. Just catch the ball and hold on for dear life. You know, they tricked him the first time when they came with the blitz, and this time when they went to cut him, he realized that something was up. Watch this. He gets down. Now he realized something's wrong here. And he goes back, turns in, sees the ball, makes the catch. And he says, I can't outrun Robert Edwards.
Tell you what, he showed some pretty good hands there. Reaching back.
Showed great hands. He didn't look like a lineman that time.
No, he didn't. Quez Green looked like he had a sure 6 points.
Well, I thought he made the catch, and I'm not sure whether they ruled that he was out of bounds as he caught the ball between Champ Bailey and Jeff Harris, or whether he was juggling and going out because... Oh, he stripped of it right there at the
Bailey
end.
made the strip. We've got an injured Georgia player on the far side of the field out of bounds. Florida fans looking at a replay thought here in the stadium on the big jumbotron that it was a touchdown, but I don't know if Green had it long enough, but there's no question that Champ Bailey reached in there and slapped it away. Of course, if Green has possession,
that's the key.
That's a touchdown.
If he had possession, and what the official was saying was that he was juggling the football, and Quezzy didn't argue. He just got up and ran back to the hole. So let's give the official some credit.
There's the freshman making the catch. Errol Jackson. Greg Wright was there to stop him inside the 20 at about the 19. Third down play coming up, a big one for the Gators as we take another look.
Well, Jackson's just on a drag route as he comes across. He catches the ball. Young man out of Tampa, but Greg Wright doing a good job playing center field from his linebacker slot. Sees it all the way, comes up, makes the hit.
Fourth down coming up for Florida. Johnson can't connect with Kareem. And Steve Spurrier is going to send in the field goal team.
And that's smart. You want to get some points on the board. You don't want to get down here once again and not capitalize. Defense has been holding them. You know, give your team a chance to score some points as he's accepting the field goal if Collins Cooper's able to knock it through.
Cooper, a Jacksonville native out of Episcopal High School. Billy Young is the holder. 36-yard attempt, and it's plenty long enough, and it's good. Florida finally is on the scoreboard, but this fun and gun really sputtering today in Jacksonville against the Georgia Bulldogs as the Gators have to settle for 3. The Florida Gators settling for a field goal after an interception which gave them the ball inside the Bulldog 30-yard line. It is 7-3. Georgia still leading with 6:03 to play in the second quarter. Bobby Stevenson will kick off. Hines Ward and Champ Bailey are the deep men for the Bulldogs. And it'll be Hines Ward from the goal line. Ward had a big return to open the football game, but not this time as the Gators sandwich him inside the 20. Larry Battelle to the sideline. Larry, what have you got?
David, what else do I have? I got to talk about injured linebackers. Actually, the word on Dwayne Thomas quite severe. He has dislocated his shoulder. So number 52, the inside backer for the Gators, is out for this game and possibly beyond, depending on the amount of damage to the tendons and such around that shoulder joint. Meanwhile, that Florida offense has got to start cashing in opportunities. 2 drop touchdown passes. The reason why Georgia still has the lead as the Bulldogs begin this series.
Well, you're right, Larry. The Gators have had their chances to have at least 2 touchdowns today. Bulldogs put it on the ground in the hands of Robert Edwards, and the Gators just string him out all the way to the sideline, and then it's Mike Harris that drops him out of bounds. You know, Bobo has thrown 3 interceptions today and had thrown only 2 in 7 games coming into the ball game today.
Well, that's what pressure do for you. They're asking him to do more than he normally does. Everything for the Bulldogs usually come off the run. Today, they've been trying to take it off the passes. You see Robert Edwards just making guys miss him. He just made one defender fall down with a move.
Ran about 20 yards and picked up 3. Running sideline to sideline. Edwards having a good first half, though, for the Bulldogs. Bobo's back to throw again. The unfortunate long for Corey Allen. Allen has it. What a throw by Bobo. Weary was there.
Worry was there, but Corey Allen, let's give him some credit because what he did, he used that big body, that 6'1" frame to shield Fred Worry off, not allowing him to run up his back, and the ball was dropped in perfectly. You know, he just did a good job of holding the defender because Fred Ware's running step for step. Ball's thrown high and outside. Perfect throw Good route and catch by Corey Allen. And then Fred Worry staying with it. Doesn't allow him to score the touchdown by getting back and making the tackle.
Pitch it to Edwards. Edwards, boy, when he squares up and turns upfield, he's tough to bring down. George does, but inside the Florida 5. He gets a full head of steam, Matt. Gets those shoulders squared up and headed to the end zone. He is a load.
Well, what's happening is the Gators are not being able to stay in their lanes. You know, they're over pursuing, and he's cutting back. We see him cut back and hit the seam, and then Tony George comes in and puts a heck of a hit on him to bring him down, keeping him from scoring.
There's a whistle before the ball is snapped. Georgia came running out of their huddle and snapped it on a quick count. But referee Bill Goss said that the Gators had taken a timeout, reminiscent of '93 in the mud here in Jacksonville. We'll be back. Ball to Florida's 3-yard line. Here they come running up to the line of scrimmage again. Quick toss to Robert Edwards. Edwards running right side. Oh, he is hit by Weary and driven back to the 5-yard line.
Fred Weir and Javon Curse was able to get outside, got out to the left side, not allowing Robert Edwards to turn the corner. And this is picture-perfect tackling by Fred Weary as he puts the headgear square in the numbers and drives the big man backwards. Just beautiful tackling, form tackling by that Gator defense.
Big play by Weary, trying to make up perhaps for the long pass play that connected Bobo to Allen when he had good coverage, but boy, you got to give it to Mike Bobo. Despite the 3 interceptions, just a beautiful pass to put Georgia in touchdown territory. 2nd down and goal at the 2. Edwards denied the goal line again. Javon Curse pulled him back, grabbed him, kept him from getting into the end zone.
What's really important on the goal line defense like this is that for that defensive line to stand that offensive line up, and there you see Javon Curse snatching him back as he's airborne. You know, once you get in the air, you sort of lose your thrust, and it's easy. You become a paper doll as Javon Curse just snatches him out of the air.
The football is at the Florida 1. 3rd down. Great play by Darrell Owens. Florida was not fooled on the fake handoff. The Gators had pretty good coverage in the end zone as well, and Owens got a piece of the pass just to make sure it wasn't connected.
Well, he tried to get the ball to his tight end, Jermaine Wiggins, deep in the back of the end zone, but the Gators were not fooled, especially Darrell Owens, as he's right there. And I'll tell you, if the ball would have been thrown, Tony George might have intercepted.
I think you're exactly right. Gators had 3 men backpedaling. They were headed to pick off that pass. I think it might be lucky for Georgia that ball was deflected by Owens.
Well, that's just good, solid defense, good coaching by Bobby Stoops, as he had his defense aware of all the things that the Bulldogs like to do down around the goal line, and they were ready for that naked boot coming out of the back.
Now we've got timeout with 3:37 to play in the 2nd quarter. Georgia at the Florida 1-yard line. Bobby Stoops' team has been challenged all afternoon long, and they've got the #1 challenge now as Georgia is knocking at the door at the Florida 1-yard line.
And this could really be big, David, if they're able to keep him out of the end zone, being that Georgia has decided to go for it on 4th and 1. If they're able to hold him, this could be a momentum swing for the Gators.
Well, they've run Edwards right. They've run Edwards up the middle. They fake to Edwards and try to throw it in. What has Jim Donnan come up with here?
Well, it's very important that defensive line get down and under and stand that offensive line up, because if they come up the middle, you want to make sure that there's nowhere for them to go up and over.
No signal. No, there is on the far side. Touchdown, Georgia. Boy, it was close. But the Bulldogs, Edwards put it in there.
Well, let's give that touchdown to the offensive line of the Georgia Bulldogs. because that Gator defensive line was not able to get penetration, and Robert Edwards had plenty of room to take a running start. This is all about the battle of the line of scrimmage, and there he gets a good clean takeoff, which allows him to get over before the Gators could push him back.
No question about it. Edwards easily in for the 6 points. And the extra point by Dax Langley is good. Georgia takes a 14-3 lead late in the second quarter.
Now this is where you miss your middle linebacker. This is where the middle linebacker is usually coming in there, and he's got to leap and leave his feet at the same time that the running back does, so that they make in midair and able to knock it.
The Georgia Bulldogs have added another touchdown as Edwards has scored twice now. Bobby Stoops trying to get his defensive unit ready for another go-round with this Georgia offense. McCaslin fields a short kick, and Florida will have the ball at the 35-yard line. Dustin Lucky, number 50, one of the 3 Lucky triplets on the Georgia team, is able to make the stop. Doug Johnson has not had a particularly splendid first half, but you can't put all the blame on him because he has thrown 2 apparent touchdown passes, neither one of them caught.
He's made some critical mistakes, but also he's done some good things, and his counterparts have not made the play for him.
Well, Kareem managed to hold on to that one at the 50-yard line. Gators have plenty of time with 3:15 on the clock.
And if you're going to be a championship team, here's where you have to show some character. You're down 14-3. You want to get a score on the board before you go in. As Doug Johnson goes back, he's looking for Nafis Kareem, and a great adjustment by Kareem to reach back and catch the football, and he caught it in his hands. That's the problem. The Gators are starting to let the ball get to their bodies instead of catching it out in front of it with their hands.
And I think more important than anything else, Nat, right now, is that Steve Spurrier would just like to see his offense execute, because LSU, Auburn, now 1/2 against Georgia. That's 2.5 football games that the Fun and Gun has not had a lot of fun.
Well, they've been able to run the football in the other ball games. They haven't been able to run it today, but also they have not been able to throw the ball effectively, and that's the important thing.
There's a nice carry for Fred Taylor. By far his most productive, a 12-yard gain there. Len Ford made the tackle. The Gators are challenging at the Georgia 31.
And I think Fred Taylor heard us talking about him, because we said that he had not been able to run the ball effectively. And what does he do? He clip off a long run, picking up a Gator first down.
Georgia's defense back on their heels as Florida's coming right at him. Brett Bright with a good solid hit. Richardson was able to hold on, and they spot it back up there at the 24-yard line. About a 7-yard gain.
Well, Georgia's in their prevent defense where they've got 4 people deep, and then they've got their linebackers taking good deep drops and just seeing the football as he comes up. You see Greg Bright coming up to hit Jamie Richardson just as he catches the football. And that's the funny part about prevent defense. You played the Gators, nick and tuck the whole ball game, and now with the last few minutes of the half, you minus Scottie Pippen, though. Let's make sure we get that in.
Second down for Florida at the Georgia 24. Johnson sacked at the 35. Marcus Stroud, a redshirt freshman, number 97, came crashing in, and I tell you, at least that time, Nat, Doug didn't make an ill-advised throw.
Well, this is what we saw him do early in the year. He took the sack when it was there, and this this Gator offensive line is just getting pushed back, and they're just taking him and pushing him back into the quarterback.
It's 3rd and 14. Johnson really scrambling again. Doug sees some running room, and he's going to step out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Boy, what a job by Doug Johnson to avoid a consecutive sack.
Well, he had pressure from Brandon Miller, but did a good job of stepping out of the tackle. And now he's starting to show some wisdom. He's not throwing it up for grabs. There's nothing there. There he goes to try and get out of the pocket. just a good job of keeping his feet moving and then getting outside using his athleticism to outrun these big old defensive linemen as we see Stroud chasing him and then stepping out before getting hit by Ronald Bailey.
Well, a big decision has been made by the head ball coach. It is 4th down and 5, and the Gators are going to go for it late in the quarter. The ball is on the ground. It's incomplete. Georgia has held again.
And this is an adjustment that the Gators have got to make when they go in at halftime. You know, you keep dragging a guy across the middle, and Greg Bright is just getting a good deep drop and seeing the play and reacting up. So he's there to hit Kareem Richardson, just as the ball get there. But once again, this is a ball that's got to be catched. This is a catchable ball and would have gave the Gators a first down.
Well, the Gators have not clicked passing or running in the first half. And Georgia is going to be content to take an 11-point lead into the locker room. An interesting strategy with better than a minute to play. And they still have 2 timeouts left also.
Now that's called playing it close to the vest, especially when you have a running back like Robert Edwards that has the ability to break it from anywhere. Normally you would give the ball to your tailback and see if you can't pick up a first down. You know, but
well, maybe they're running a decoy play and they're going to drop back and do something here. Took a knee on first down.
Well, if they do, they have fooled the entire stadium.
So Georgia satisfied with an 11-point lead, and why not? They come in here about a 20-point underdog and have to be happy about the way the first half has gone. They've dodged a couple of big bullets as the Gators have missed 2 golden opportunities to make touchdown catches in the end zone. And Florida just unable to capitalize with a sputtering offense in the first half, and Georgia leads the Gators 14-3 at the end of the first half. First half statistics. I cannot remember the last time Florida had that few yards in the first half of a ball game. 144 yards total offense for a team that averaged 440 per game.
And a lot of that comes from the drop passes. You know, Doug Johnson has made some mistakes and thrown some errant passes, but he's had several balls dropped by what would normally be sure-handed receivers. And it's going to take the entire group getting their act together here in the second half if the Gators are going to be victorious.
All right, let's go down to the field and Larry Vitale.
Well, David and Nat, I couldn't agree with you guys more. Obviously, it's got to get done in the trenches for Florida on both sides of the ball. The Gator defense allowing 220 yards. That's far too many for a defense of Florida's caliber. But when they do protect Doug Johnson and he does make a good read and a good throw, that ball's got to be caught. You could argue 4, 5, 6 drops in the first half. Not all easy catches, but if Florida's going to win the games at this level and continue a drive to a possible trip to the Orange Bowl, they have to be made in the second half.
Might as well not talk about the Orange Bowl in Miami. You're talking about a trip to Atlanta. At this point, the Gators trying to get back to the Southeastern Conference championship game. And they've got the win today to do it.
And the key to that is taking them one at a time and winning each game each week.
Here's Bo Carroll, the pesky little freshman out of Pennsylvania, trying to turn the corner, but Georgia has him surrounded now. And pretty good return by Carroll, a nifty 27-yard scamper.
And what they didn't allow him to do was to get squared up in the middle of the field with a hole as they pushed him outside. As we get a look at Noel Brandeis coming in to start the second half for the Gators.
Well, Doug Johnson had the first half, and as we pointed out, you can't blame all of Florida's offensive problems on the quarterback. Certainly other factors involved, but Brandeis sparked the team last week at Auburn. 2 weeks ago, I should say, and we'll see what happens here today. The first play, not very successful as Antonio Cochran is all over Fred Taylor. And there's no gain on the play.
And the difference in what's happening here is the Georgia Bulldogs are doing a better job of turning everything back inside to those middle linebackers, where Bulldogs have had some success in being able to get outside versus this Gator defense.
Brandeis throwing it. Well, that's a big hit by Kirby Smart, but it's a pretty good catch too by Kwesi Green.
Good job of going up, knowing you're going to get hit. What they do here is they just drag him across. They got one guy short, one guy deep, and this time he goes to the deep guy. And Smart comes up, puts a good hit. And this is what you look for with your money receivers, your quality receivers. He knows that he's going to get hit there, David. He goes up, he makes the sure catch.
Brandeis over the middle, another drop. In and out of the hands of McCaslin, and then Champ Bailey couldn't hold on as well for Georgia. Brent was a tough pass to catch, but again, that ball is in his hands.
Not a bad throw by Noah Brandeis, as he's able to drop it in. And games of this nature, you know, if you can get your hands on it, you've got to come down with the catch. And this time it's almost another interception off a tip ball, or should I say a ball that should have been caught. You know, he just didn't make the catch.
Taylor running the ball again. Fred inside the 40 at the Georgia 38. Glenn Ford may have saved a touchdown. Gators come out in the I formation in the third quarter and run the ball.
Good job of blocking by that right side, as you see Zach Pillis pushing Brandon Tobert inside, and Fred Ware came through there running with some reckless abandon at that time, and he's able to pop it in a hurry.
Well, Taylor had 25 yards on 9 carries in the first half. Already 17 yards on just 2 carries here in the third quarter. Quick toss to Bo Carroll, looking for a block. He got one from his wide receiver, or his tight end rather. And then Marlos Leroy made the tackle for Georgia.
I tell you what, that was a big play by Marlos Leroy, number 94, because Bo Carroll has speed, and he starts in. He realized he can't get in there. He gets outside. Good job of blocking by Kenny. And Leroy is able to make the tackle before Bo Carroll gets turned upfield down that sideline.
Noah Brandeis, the 5th-year former walk-on senior. Sparked the Gator offense against Auburn. Can he do it again today? Well, the man fell down, and then Bailey couldn't catch it. Kwesi Green slipped on the turf. We did have a lot of rain here. We haven't seen a lot of people slip and fall, though. But there was a lot of rain overnight, and really into early this afternoon.
Well, this is a good throw by Noah Brandeis. A little curl route, and what happens here, and the reason that Jaquez slips down is he's got too much weight leaning back, and his feet goes out from under him, and that was a ball that Champ Bailey should have intercepted. Good break for the Gators.
A pass intended for Green, broken up by Bailey. 4th down for the Gators. And again, they're sitting right there in no man's land where the field goal is tough, and looks like they're going to go for it. Take another look.
Well, nothing special. 4-man rush. Noah Brandeis gets hit after the throw, but he's got plenty of time to throw the football. Ball's just thrown behind Jaquez, and he slips down and he tries to come back to get it.
Well, as you said, it's a 4-man rush. Georgia's got 7 people back covering. Florida quarterbacks are having some difficulty finding open receivers. Florida will take timeout. So the Gators use one of their 3 second-half timeouts early in the third quarter. It's still 14-3 Georgia. Day from the opening kick. Temperature in the mid-70s. And I guarantee you, Steve Spurrier's blood is boiling right now because his offense has not put a touchdown on the board. We're early in the third quarter. And it is 4th down and 5 for the Gators. but they complete the big one. Richardson holding on at the 1-yard line. I tell you, that ball looked like it had INT written all over it, but the Bulldogs could not quite get to it as Kirby Smart came dashing up there to make the interception and was just a split second late.
And this is one time you took the gamble where you shouldn't have, and you're just a split second late. If he lays out, he's able to get there before Jamie Richardson make the catch. Good job by Jamie Richardson maintaining his concentration, knowing he's going to get hit.
The backs are in the aisle. The handoff is to Taylor. Or Brett Bright. As a helmet comes flying out of there. Bright made the tackle. He has had a great football game for Georgia's defense.
Well, he does just a good job of playing that middle linebacker slot because he sits back there deep, he reads the action, and then he just steps up and he fills the hole. And, you know, looked like on this particular play, he had enough penetration to break the line of scrimmage, but usually what they rule is where the ball is. And if the umpire or the official line judge can't see the football, they're not going to raise their hands.
Well, he couldn't have gotten any closer, I don't think. Brandeis will keep it. There's the touchdown, Florida.
Quarterback sneak gets him in, but I must tell you there, I don't think Noah Brandeis could figure out whether he wanted to go up and over or try and crawl under. As he was able to sneak it across, going behind Zach Sedalis. And
well, I don't know what his vertical leap is, but I have a hunch we're glad he took the overland route.
Well, there's another look at it as he just uses the leg strength as he decided, no, I don't think I'm going to get up in the air.
The extra point by Cooper is good. Well, it took him 33 minutes and 37 seconds. But they are on the scoreboard with a touchdown. Noah Brandeis, the quarterback keeper, puts the Gators within 3, or 4 rather, of the Bulldogs in the third quarter. We'll be right back.
The best way to stay on top of
Noah Brandeis, fifth-year senior. He came in against Auburn, took the Gators 97 yards for a critical second half score to get Florida's offense going. He has just taken up 70 yards in 10 plays to cut Georgia's lead to 14-10. Bailey staggers across the 20 and out to the 23, and that's where Georgia is going to have the football. The key play on the drive, a 4th down and 5 for the Florida Gators. And watch what happened.
And he's just streaking through the middle of the field, gets deeper than the linebacker. Greg Wright was not able to make the play.
And then 2 plays later, Brandeis muscles it in for the touchdown, the Gators' first touchdown of the game. And an impressive drive. You know, the thing about Brandeis is that he just doesn't make many mistakes.
And that's important in big games like this here. The team that usually make the fewest mistakes will win the ball game.
Bobo overthrows pass. Mike Harris, good coverage for the Gators. Well, Florida's defense, along with the settling effect of Noah Brandeis, won the ball game in Auburn. And it might take that same combination today against the Bulldogs to get the job done.
Well, this ball is uncatchable, but a good job by Mike Harris of running step for step with Patrick Pass to make sure that it was going to be a tough throw for Mike Bobo.
Bobo has not thrown many times, and those numbers might not be very impressive, but he's made some big plays, particularly that 58-yard bomb to Corey Allen to set up Georgia's second touchdown. Nice catch by Ward, and Georgia will have a first down at the Bulldog 34-yard line.
Excellent route behind Ward as he went down on a 12-yard out and was able to turn Eli Williams around. Here we see Willie Coynes get good pressure, and he gets there just as Mike Bobo releases the football. Good route behind Ward, coming back, catching the ball in his hands before Eli can get back to him. Edwards,
nowhere to run. Buck Gurley Redshirt freshman, number 99, out of Tallahassee. Strong safety Tony George up to make the hit as well.
Just good job at the point by the defense of not giving ground. Buck Gurley getting up and under the offensive tackle and pushing him back.
Well, the Bulldogs had 67 rushing yards in the first half. Florida averaging only 41, allowing only 41 yards per game coming into the ball game. Bobo throwing it for Hines Ward, and the pass is overthrown and incomplete. Elijah Williams was shoulder to shoulder with the senior from Rex, Georgia.
And that was a good no call by the official because they both have a right to the football, and Eli's running step for step with him. And if anything, Hines Ward is the guy that's pushing off. Gallant effort on his part diving for the football, but a good no call by the official.
Bobo has come up big on several crucial third down plays, and here's a 3rd down and 10 early in the third quarter. Florida has scored. Georgia is trying to answer back, and the Bulldogs have got that crazy lineup again with Hines Ward in the shotgun and Bobo lined up off center, and now the Bulldogs will take timeout. So Georgia didn't like something about the way that play looked, so they'll take their first time out of the second half. They're throwing a scare at the very least into Florida today. It's 3rd down and 10 for Georgia at the Bulldog 34. They snapped the ball to Bobo. Corey Allen didn't run around it, gave him any kind of a chance to pick up a first down. The Gators able to make the play as Weary and George both converged on the receiver.
And that's what you've got to do. The offense have scored a touchdown. Now Corey Allen, they're really trying to get the ball to Hines Ward on the bow out. And he's just running a decoy trying to pull Fred Weary out. And Mike Bobo throws him the football, so don't blame Corey Allen for that. That's a bad read by the quarterback. He's got to throw the bow out.
Ward had plenty of yardage upfield to pick up a Georgia first down if it had been thrown his way. Langley, nice kick. Green will fair catch it at the 30. 35-yard punt by Dax Langley. And Florida takes the football, trailing still 14-10 with 9:24 to play in the third quarter from Jacksonville. Billy Donovan's Gator basketball teams opens a season of run and gun fun this Monday, November the 3rd, 7 o'clock against the California All-Stars. To get your tickets, call 352-375-GO-UF. Remember, all UF students get in free with a Gator One card all season long at Gator basketball. Brandeis handing off to Fred Taylor. Running off tackle. Wright throws him back. Forward progress almost to the 35. And Marlos Leroy hit him first.
Little draw action. Goes back, showing pass, and gives it to Fred Taylor, and he's trying to come up the back of Zach Pillis following that big tackle. Once again, you see Greg Bright coming in, making a tackle from his middle linebacker slot.
Again, Fred Taylor. You know, against LSU, the Gators came out in the third quarter after struggling in the first half, and they ran the ball to Fred Taylor. Sort of got away from that for the rest of the football game and didn't win at LSU. Against Auburn, offensively, they struggle. Third quarter, you go to Fred Taylor. They win the ball game. They come out here against Georgia, trailing. You go to Fred Taylor. That seems to be the common thread when the Gators are having success now.
Well, if you give the ball to your marquee guy running the football and that offensive line come off, you're going to make something happen. You're going to get some movement.
Richardson made the catch at the 31 of Georgia as Glenn Ford lost track of where the football was.
Well, Glenn Ford was worried about getting beat deep. Jamie Richardson saw that the ball was underthrown and made the adjustment. You know, good receiver, come back to the football. This ball is underthrown. He comes back, makes the catch. The old underthrow. Just excellent Excellent job by Jamie Richardson of adjusting to the football.
Well, look how deep those Georgia defensive backs are just sprinting back toward the goal line.
Well, they've got them on their heels now. The Gators have been able to get some on the board. And, you know, a little doubt starts to creep into this Bulldog team.
Give it to Fred Taylor. Give it to Fred Taylor. Inside the 15 to the 11-yard line of Georgia.
What we've seen is old Bo starting to come toward the Gator football team because, you know, the Gators have got this defense backpedaling now. You know, they're not making the great plays that they were early on in the first half. And Noel Brandeis is orchestrating this, just doing a good job of finding the open guy, putting the ball in the right guy's hands. You see Fred Taylor just running over would-be tacklers as he runs over both Harris and Smart.
To the Georgia 5.
And that's just Fred Taylor refusing to go down, as the big fella says, you know, get on my back, I'll carry you, as he just took Glenn forward and just pushed him to the ground.
This is a big-time football player.
Well, starting the season, Steve Spurrier said that if there was a Heisman Trophy candidate on this football team, it was Fred Taylor, and he's starting to show us why when given the opportunity.
56 yards in the second half in just 7.5 minutes for Taylor. He's inside the 5, near the 2. Probably will spot him closer to the 3. Antonio Cochran was there to make the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Actually, the Gators can get a first down just inside the 1.
And this is all that big offensive line. Wiley Rich, Cheston Blackshear, Zach Sedalis right up the center. That's what Fred Taylor's running right now, right up the middle.
Here comes another tight end into the lineup, but he may just be bringing a play. He may be bringing a timeout call. Noah Brandeis is headed for the sideline. And Florida's going to stop the clock using their second timeout of the half. They're knocking inside the Georgia 5. Pretty good rush on. Jaquez Green stays on his feet. I don't know how he got through that crease, but look out now. Jaquez Green, and there's nobody near him except blue-shirted Gators. Look out if he turns the corner.
He goes again.
Back to back could it be? One man to beat. And Jaquez Green is going to do it. Back to back punt returns, 4 touchdowns at Florida Field.
This month, be thankful for all the sports on Sunshine. First, the big boys are back, and that's the straight turkey. The Magic and Heat take the court with authority, and they're never short on the stuffing. Then, with Lightning and the Solar Bears, it's all gravy. You give them the biscuit, and they'll find the basket. And finally, the college kids ought to give thanks, because it's the volleyball and soccer conference finals. So be thankful for all the sports this November on Sunshine.
From Jacksonville, the Gators give it to the fullback, Rod Frazier. Frazier is in for the touchdown.
And that's what happens when you start to run the football. That offensive line start to get a feel. They get used to coming off the football, moving people. And this Gator offensive line has decided to take control as the Bulldogs are sitting back expecting for Fred Taylor to get the football. And Noah Brandeis slips it in the belly of Rod Frazier, going in for the touchdown. Just great movement up front. Cheston Blackshear, Wiley Rich. Just a tremendous job by that offensive line.
Extra point by Collins Cooper. Florida takes the lead for the first time today. 6:42 to play in the third quarter. Rod Frazier, a redshirt freshman, gets his first touchdown carry as a Gator.
Welcome back, ladies. I trust you had a great summer. Professor Casey Jones in the house. Now let's move right to your assignment. Miss Staley?
How I spent my summer vacation by Dawn Staley. I hit the track every morning. I lifted, rented lots of movies, tried a few new sports, nothing but net. Checked out my wall, played with the kids, kicked some butt. I just chilled and feeling it. but now it's time for basketball season.
Tonight at 7 on Sunshine.
Where's that lawyer's number? I'm going to sue. Not so fast. On Law Talk Live, we help you avoid lawyers. Why sue when you can win by using common sense? I'm Bob Kerrigan, inviting you to join us on Law Talk Live, where we take legal questions from the viewers with answers that may surprise you. We'll see you right here on this channel every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for Law Talk Live.
It took the Florida Gators 2.5 quarters to do it, but they've taken the lead in Jacksonville against a very tough Georgia football team. Bailey, ankle tackled at the 21-yard line by Terrace Ross. Let's take another look at the touchdown.
And let's give that offensive line a lot of credit as Wiley Rich, Cheston Blackshear, Zach Pillars, Ryan Kalick, and Mo Collins just does a super job of just moving those defenders back, and a great job by Rod Frazier of extending the football out to get the touchdown.
That was Pillar on top of Frazier. He just pushed him into the end zone.
Every little bit of help counts.
Well, now Georgia's offense is challenged to turn the momentum. They're going to run it with Robert Edwards. Look at the Gator defense swarming to the football, led by Johnny Rutledge, 58, Willie Cohen's 55. 56 is Darrell Owens. Tony George, the strong safety. Just about the entire defense came to the ball there.
Well, Willie Cohen disrupts this play in the backfield as he gets down, breaks down the defense, and he's right there forcing Robert Edwards to jump up over him. But a good job by the defense of closing in, holding him to a very short gain, if any.
Then you saw Cohen's get up and get in on a tackle. Bobo's pass is caught by Hines Ward. A gain of about 6. Elijah Williams made the tackle on the personal senior. Well, that's a good football player right there. He's done a little bit of everything for Georgia on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, Hines Ward is a good football player, but Eli Williams has stood true to the test as he was up close, and when he saw the flanker screen, trailed him all the way down the line of scrimmage, making the tackle.
This is an important play for Georgia. Ward, it's Hines Ward taking a snap back out of the shotgun, and Ward carries it for the first down. That's the second time they've lined up Ward in the shotgun. Really the third. They called timeout prior to the snap on another occasion.
Well, you know that once they line him up there, it's going to be some type of option with him carrying the football. And what you want to force him to do is to pitch it. Somebody's got to take the quarterback, force him to pitch it back, which gives your defenders more time to react.
Well, that's a critical first down for Georgia. Gators 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. Georgia had not picked up even a first down until that time. Hines Ward, the quarterback again. Will pitch it to Robert Edwards. Edwards trying to turn the corner, but the speed of Willie Rogers strung it out, and then Kearse ran him out of bounds.
And that's important because so many bad things can happen when you force them to push the ball, to pitch the ball back. Here we see Javon Kearse staying down the line of scrimmage, fighting off the tight end, and he's right there to force Edwards out of bounds.
The result is a 2-yard gain for Georgia. Javon Kearse, great speed, only a sophomore out of Fort Myers. Bobo back at quarterback. That's Hines Ward in motion. Good protection. And the pass is caught by the tight end, Larry Brown. Brown is decked at the 49. Another 1st and 10 for Georgia. Fred Weary made the tackle down around the knees.
Came with a little crossing action. They brought Hines Ward in motion and then drug him back across the field. And the linebackers picked him up, and that allowed Larry Brown to come free, coming across. As Johnny Rutledge is not able to run with him, but a good job of Fred Weary of fighting off the block, making the tackle.
A Well, the Gators not at full strength defensively at the linebacker position. They're really hurting there. But fighting valiantly in Jacksonville against the Bulldogs. All those passes caught. That's Corey Allen. Another Georgia first down at the Gator 35-yard line. Again, Weary is in coverage. He got turned around a little bit on the pass route run by Allen.
And what Corey Allen is doing is running those good 18, 19-yard comeback routes, which gives him plenty of opportunity to push the defender off to show him that he's going deep and then coming back to meet the football. There you see Bobo knowing that that was a great throw. Good throw on his part. He had a man wide open. He was able to hit him.
Allen beat Weary deep earlier in this ball game in the second quarter. Fred obviously was looking for the long pass there. The pitch to Edwards, and he is tripped up. Cohen's got a piece of him back at the 40. And Edwards managed to get back close to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they tried to show outside, and Edwards, being a cutback runner, at the first sign of a gap, he decided to cut back. But Willie Cohens gets under the blocker and reaches back and strips him, knocks his legs out from under him.
Bobo's numbers on the afternoon. He's been hot on this series. Georgia's close to another first down. Mike Harris made the tackle at the 26. Georgia will be 3rd down and 1 as Ward has another catch.
You know, this senior offensive line that the Bulldogs have is just doing a super job of protecting the quarterback, giving him time to throw the football as Hines Ward comes across on a drag route again. He's able to catch it 5 yards deep, turn upfield, pick up a few extra yards, giving him 3rd and short, David.
Give credit to Georgia's offense. Florida has put together 2 long drives in this quarter, one of 69 yards, one of 70 yards. And here come the Dogs, and Edwards high-stepping across the 25. He picks up another Bulldog first down. Late in the 3rd quarter. Georgia has picked up the first down, and they are first down at Florida's 24.
Little isolation play where the fullback leads in. Edwards follows them in the hole, picking up the first down. Nothing fancy.
Behind the running of Edwards, the throwing of Mike Bobo. Bulldogs on the move. Allen is open. Allen is down at the 1. Beautiful route, and again, Bobo has all day to stand back there and find a receiver.
And that's what happens when you've got a solid running game. The defense is playing run first, pass second, little play action pass. Good job of play action between Edwards and Mike Bobo, and then he's able to hit Corey Allen on a deep post route. Fred Ware playing outside technique with no help inside.
Bulldogs inside the Florida 1. Edwards is in. Georgia retakes the lead.
Little fullback lead. Edwards going up and over, the same play that he scored at the end of the half on. Little dive action over the right guard.
Langley's extra point is good. The Georgia Bulldogs, giving up back-to-back touchdowns to the Gators, have bounced back, and they are back on top in Jacksonville. Tremendous football game. Southeastern Conference showdown between a couple of Eastern Division contenders. And the Georgia Bulldogs have just bounced back on top of the Florida Gators 21-17. This crowd here today is the largest crowd in Gator Bowl history, Alltel Stadium history. 84,297. Carroll brings the ball out to the 27, where Florida will take over. Quentin Davis made the tackle for the Georgia Bulldogs. Well, Noah Brandeis has directed a 70-yard touchdown drive for the Gators, a 69-yard touchdown drive for the Gators. And now Steve Spurrier sends him out there, hoping to pull off another big drive and put his team back on top.
Well, this is more like the barn burner that we're used to seeing in the 70s and early 80s. And it's now time for the Gators to stand up and be counted.
The handoff goes to Taylor. Fred Taylor near the 30-yard line. Snellings, number 96 for Georgia, made the tackle. As looked like Taylor might have been juggling that football a little bit as he took the handoff from Brandeis. Georgia's scoring drive a moment ago, really a thing of beauty for an offensive football team. They had a couple of big third down plays, 78 yards and 11 plays. The Gators had scored 14 unanswered points. Well, that's a big scoring strike for Jim Donovan's ball club. Brandeis out of the shotgun, connects with Richardson, and he'll be 4 or 5 yards short of a first down. Greg Bright, the middle linebacker, made the tackle for Georgia. That'll bring up a big third down play now for the Gators, who will try and turn the momentum around in their direction after the Georgia scoring strike.
Now this pass is completed, but you'd like to be able to throw the ball down the field so that it gives you a good third and medium, and that's what they were able to get here.
It's fourth down Gators as they try to hit over the top with Richardson, a play that worked on their first touchdown drive of this half. So Georgia had it well covered.
Yeah, but what the Bulldogs are showing the Gator quarterbacks is a two-deep zone, which usually means you're going to try and get the ball down the middle of the field to the guy streaking, but they're playing so deep, and Greg Bright is getting such a good drop from the middle linebacker slot that it's a long throw, which gives the safeties a chance to react. As you see both safeties come into your picture just as the ball arrived, Larry Mann and Kirby Smart.
Well, there weren't many good things that were going to happen on that play for the Gators. All you saw was white shirts with red numerals in the area of the football. Stevenson punts it. Michael Greer at the 21. And a nice little return by Greer out across the 31 to the 32-yard line. 48-yard punt, but a 12-yard return. And John Xnitis made the tackle for Georgia. And that is the final play of the third quarter from Alltel Stadium. Well, the Gators overcame a 14-3 halftime deficit, but now trail again as we go to the fourth quarter.
Here at Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, Georgia, 1996, and the guy who had such a great game for the Gators, Danny Werfel. Florida right now trailing 21-17 as we begin the fourth quarter, but it's a pleasure to have Danny down here with me. And Danny, you think about the Florida-Georgia rivalry as a player, you've been in it. What's it all about?
Tell you what, it starts off, first of all, with a lot of history. I mean, you can't even think back to all the players that have been in the game, the great games they've had over the years. And it's kind of nice, the string that Florida's put together. But tonight, I don't know, this is a great game. College football is a great sport.
Tough situation for Noah Brandeis. Comes in, start the second half with 2 TD drives.
Yeah, I tell you what, he seems like a closer in baseball. He comes in sort of at the end and tries to put the game together. He's done a great job. Great guy, real proud of him.
Talk to me about Noah. How do you think he'll handle this fourth quarter?
Well, I know he's put in a lot of hours. I know he's a great player, and I hope the best for him. He really puts a lot of pride in doing the little things, and he tries to make all those throws, does a great job. He made a key pass there a few drives ago, and just wish the best for him.
Danny, what about you? Year one in New Orleans.
Yeah, definitely. We got to get some things together. It's been rough on us, but we're hanging in there, and frustration, adversity is a part of life, but you just got to keep your head up, thank the Lord for your blessings, and do what you can.
Well, yesterday, Danny Werfel inducted into the Florida-Georgia Hall of Fame. Congratulations on that. Great seeing you again.
Well, thanks a lot. Take care.
Danny Werfel. Now let's go upstairs to a couple other guys who probably should have won Heisman's, David and Nat.
Oh, I don't know about that, Larry. Let's leave the Heisman's for the Danny Werfels of the world.
That's
the
right.
ones that really deserve it. Draw play to Edwards. Nice first down yardage for the Bulldogs. Javon Kearse made the tackle. Florida banged up at linebacker. Dwayne Thomas out with a shoulder injury. Mike Peterson out, injured early in the football game. And this team is banged up at that position, and Georgia has taken advantage in that very area of Florida's defense, haven't they, Nat?
Well, they've been running right at the middle, and one thing that happens, when your defense is used to having quality backups, your guys get a chance to rest. These linebackers today have not had that opportunity to go over, sit down, and rest a little bit because the offense have not controlled the football. And then secondly, with all the injured players.
Hess carries the ball. He got away from Mike Harris. It looked like he might lose a couple, but managed to squeeze a yard or two out of it. Bobo and the Bulldogs looking at another big third down play early in the fourth quarter. Georgia 21, Florida 17.
And the Gators really need to stop here because they can't afford to let this Bulldog team go down and put more points on the board, putting them 2 scores behind.
Georgia needs 3 to get a first down. The crowd sensing the importance of this play, rising at Alltel Stadium. Hines Ward with the football. Dragged out of bounds at the Florida 31-yard line, and I'm telling you, Bobo took a hit, but he threw a strike.
Well, this was the first time probably all day that they got good pressure on him and is able to make him throw the ball early. But Hines Ward comes open. I don't know whether it's a blitz adjustment or what. Darrell Owens is right there making the hit, and he pops wide open on a drag route. Same route he's been running all day. And Eli Williams coming in late for the tackle. Eli's playing outside position as if he has help inside. There's got to be some kind of breakdown defensively, because if you don't have any help, there's no way you allow a receiver to run through the middle of the field.
And there was nobody there for Florida's defense. Now the Georgia man blocked Cohen's right into the running back. Willie says thank you very much. That was the tight end, I think, Wiggins.
Second down and 15.
Might have been a little bit of a hold there, but he threw him right into the running back.
Well, just a super job by Cohen's of just beating him upfield, not allowing him to hook him. That play is designed to go outside. Robert Edwards never had a chance.
That moves the ball back to the 37, and it is 2nd and 16 for Georgia. Gators get a good rush on it. Tony George just about had that one. Oh, Bobo got hammered again.
And that's what they've got to do. They don't have to sack him. They just need to put some hits on him. And now the Gators are starting to come after him. They've realized that he's going to throw the football, and he gets hit just as he releases the football by Ed Chester. And that's what you want to do. You want to put the quarterback on his back. You want to let him know that you've been there. Pretty soon he'll start throwing the ball early and throw some away.
Well, Bobo had completed 7 straight before that one. Well, he finally has been cooled off, at least for the moment. 3rd down again for the Bulldogs. Ward has the football and what appears to be a Bulldog first down. Time after time, Georgia has made the big 3rd down conversion here in the second half.
Gators got some confusion there as they couldn't decide whether to call timeout. Mike Bobo got plenty of time to throw the football. Runs a little bow out. Caught the Gators sitting back in his own defense.
The Bulldogs are at the Florida 20. Stoops' troops challenged again. Edwards to the 17. Rutledge made the stop for Florida. Georgia mixing up the run with Robert Edwards. Bobo utilizing the skills of Hines Ward.
Just a straight-ahead play, and you see Robert Edwards dancing in the hole, just trying to make Gator defenders miss him as he picks up 2 yards.
Right now, Florida wants to keep Georgia out of the end zone. It's a 4-point game.
And they've got to force them to settle for a field goal try. They can't afford it to give up the touchdown.
Hines Ward now quarterback on the option. He's going to keep it, and Harris, using that great speed, is able to bring him down at around the 15. Well, Hines Ward has done a little bit of everything again today for Georgia.
And what's happening is the tight end is doing such a good job on the defensive end. You know, you're not able to force Hines Ward to pitch the football early, which gives him plenty of time to turn upfield. That's why it's such a positive play, David. You've got to be able to force him to pitch it early so that he's pitching it backwards.
Georgia, again, a 3rd down conversion opportunity. They've been very successful in the second half. A low snap, and Ward will keep it. And pick up another 1st down inside the 10 at about the Florida 7 or 8. Almost looked like a busted play, but it might just have been a quarterback draw.
It was a quarterback draw all the way. If you see Hines Ward line up in the shotgun, you know there's got to be some kind of draw of some sort where he's going to run with the football. Mike Bobo is your passer. There's no way you're going to drop Hines Ward back and become the quarterback to try and throw the football.
Ward getting a breather, and deservedly.
Well, I guess we should call Hines Ward slash, similar to the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they do with their quarterback.
Bobo gives to Edwards. And he is dropped for a loss back near the 10 by Willie Rogers. Florida's defense trying to stand strong. Willie Rogers making a big play, the senior from Miami, as we take another look.
A little draw action, tried to show pass. Good job of pursuit.
Ward back in the lineup, in the huddle rather, for Georgia, and he'll line up at quarterback here. Now it's Bobo at quarterback, and Ward standing wide to the left side. It's Ward with the catch at the 5, and he stepped out of bounds. Elijah Williams was there. Going to be 3rd down again for the Bulldogs, as Hines Ward has caught 7 passes for 86 yards now.
Well, just a little comeback, a little out, and just trying to get as much as he can to give him a 3rd down and short. You know, we started the telecast talking about Hines Ward and the matchup with he and Fred Worry, and you know the fact that he found a home at the wide receiver position, but they have played him everywhere, as once again he lines up at the quarterback slot.
The snap to Ward, and I think the play has been blown dead. It has. There was movement in Georgia's offensive line, and they will be penalized for illegal motion.
I think the movement was by the tight end. He moved a little early.
For the snap, false start on the offensive line. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
There you saw the movement on the left side of Georgia's line, the tight end.
Yeah, big Larry Brown trying to get a jump start there, because the play's coming his way and he wants to get his block, knowing that they're going to run the option to the left.
I'm not sure if Florida wouldn't like to have gone ahead and accepted that last play. It looked like they had the option, and Ward pretty well covered as the play was trying to develop. And now Georgia will take a timeout, a critical play for the Bulldogs. They lead by 4. Would like to get 6 here. Florida tries to keep them out of the end zone.
Still paying too much for car insurance? Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more. At Geico, we settle claims quickly so you can get your car back, because no one likes to bum a ride to work. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The Internet. Billions of miles of cable connecting employers with some of the best and brightest minds in the country. The students and alumni of the SEC Career Centers. To advertise your full-time, part-time, or internship opportunity, contact your SEC Career Center or call JobTrack. 800-999-TRACK.
Welcome back, ladies. I trust you had a great summer. Professor Casey Jones in the house. Now let's move right to your assignment. Miss Staley?
How I spent my summer vacation by Dawn Staley. I hit the track every morning. I lifted. Rented lots of movies. Tried a few new sports. Nothing but net. Checked out my wall. Played with the kids. Kicked some. I just chilled and feeling it. But now it's time for basketball season.
Tonight at 7 on Sunshine.
The Florida High School Champion Series continues on Sunshine this Thursday. Lake City, Columbia, Tallahassee, Lincoln square off. Join Dave Reed, Sean Alvashire, former Gator James Bates, beginning 7 p.m. live on Sunshine Network. You see Mike Bobo, the Georgia quarterback. He's been outstanding the last 2 Georgia series. But it's been Hines Ward, his versatility. It has been a huge problem for the Gators. 131 all-purpose yards for Ward today. Here we go. It is 3rd down and goal at the Florida 10. Incomplete. Bobo tried to connect with Ward. Tony George had coverage. It's 4th down for Georgia, and it appears they're going to bring the field goal team on.
Well, they come with same play, dragging him across the field. As you can see, he didn't make the catch, but he did try and scoop it up and fool the official. And Mike Bobo knew that he had his man wide open. He just missed him.
Langley, the field goal man. This will be a 27-yarder. He gets it up and he gets it through. And Georgia takes a 24-17 lead. 9 minutes, 2 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. The Bulldogs drive sputters inside the 10, but the Dogs come away with 3. Well, individually, Bobo, by far his best college football season. In fact, he's number 1 in the Southeastern Conference in quarterback rating, number 5 overall in the country, and we've seen why here today, Nat.
And that's because he hasn't made a lot of mistakes. Early in the ball game, he was a little shaky, threw the 3 interceptions, but he settled down and has done a better job.
Oh, Bo Carroll. The freshman brought it from 2 yards deep, and Georgia's got the Gators backed up inside their own 10. And big hit by Robert Arno.
Well, Robert Arno's going to get credit for making a big tackle, but you know that's a freshman mistake by Bo Carroll. When you catch the ball deep in the left side of the end zone, to bring it out and try and go all the way across the field, I don't care how much speed you got, that's tough.
It's the largest crowd in Alltel Stadium history. We're seeing a great football game. Brandeis will throw. The ball's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Stroud, the big middle guard, got a hand on it. Let's go down on the field to Larry Vitale.
David, the Florida Gators have been so dominant in the SEC. They've won 25 straight against Eastern Division opponents. They've been in every conference championship game. And never, except in the Alabama championship game of 3 years ago, did they have to drive late in the game to tie or win it. It's a unique situation for this offense, made more difficult by the fact that they have a very inexperienced quarterback, even though he is a 5th-year senior.
Well, he started with Doug Johnson. Struggled offensively. In the first half, there's another deflected pass. Cochran got that one. It'll be 3rd down and 10 at the 9-yard line.
And Joe Kynes has got this defense playing similar to the way the LSU Tigers played it. Just a good job, good pass rush. He had time to throw the football, but Cochran came free just as he stepped up to throw the football, able to swat it down. But, they're playing this soft zone, and they're going to force the Gators to go the distance without making a mistake.
The flag is down as play is stopped. Referee Bill Goss will make the call against Florida.
Before the snap, false start on the offensive line. The penalty's half the distance to the goal line. 3rd down.
Well, David, as we look at the right guard, starts a little earlier there.
Well, he was sucked in by Brandon Miller. A little hitch. Brandeis from the end zone. Deflection. Interception. Kirby Smart for the Bulldogs at the Florida 27.
Well, David, usually when the Gators get in trouble, it's throwing the ball down the middle of the field because the ball can be tipped around, and then there's just so many people around the football, anybody can come down with it, as Brandon Smart comes up with his 2nd interception on a diving catch after the ball was tipped twice.
The first one that Brandeis has thrown today, but it is a costly one.
They're just sitting back, playing the zone, getting good deep drops. Ball's behind Jaquez. He tips it. It's tipped once again. And then Smart comes up with the catch after the tip by Mann.
The Bulldogs hurry up to the line of scrimmage as Brandeis watches helplessly from the Florida sideline. Edwards gets the call, and the Gators stacked him up at the 25. Now Georgia, with just a field goal here, would go 2 scores ahead, and time would become a huge factor in the Bulldogs' favor. And Chester shaken up a little bit on that last play as Steve Spurrier been yanking on that visor all afternoon long, and it's been a frustrating day for the Gators, to be sure.
Well, without a doubt, the Bulldogs have out-executed the Gators up to this point. And it's so important that the defense can stop them here, try to take the ball away. Worst case scenario, make them settle for a field goal try.
Keep it on the ground with Edwards. Edwards gets out of bounds. Do not mind that happening because it stops the clock with 7:37 to play. He stepped out of bounds at the 24-yard line as Rutledge chased him. Now Jim Donnan. He's got this football team believing in itself. Their only loss this year in Knoxville to the Tennessee Volunteers. And if they do come on and pull off this upset win today in Jacksonville, then that will be a costly defeat for his football team and its hopes for an SEC Eastern Division championship, because Georgia would then be tied with the Volunteers and Tennessee won the head-to-head competition between those 2 ball clubs.
So are you saying that Tennessee is pulling for Georgia right now?
I would imagine. Third down play, and look at how much time Bobo's got. They still can't find a man open. And Cohen's gets the sack. Coverage sack for the Florida Gators.
And I'll tell you what happened. They tried to run that same play where they had a crossing route, and this time the linebacker destroyed the crossing guy, and Mike Bobo had nowhere to go with the football. If you look to the top of your screen, your right side, watch Javon Curse, and he destroys the receiver, and he's not able to get through, and that's why Mike Bobo is frustrated, because he's got nowhere to go with the football. You see Willie Cohen's coming in, making the sack.
Well, that is a big play because it takes Georgia right out of field goal range.
That's a tremendous play.
Langley will have to punt the ball for the Bulldogs with 6:45 to play, and play is stopped here momentarily. And I'm not sure why. I haven't seen anybody designated a timeout. Now Bill Koss will let us know. Georgia takes the delay of game. They burn all 25 seconds, which is one objective, and drop Langley back, give him a better chance to pooch it inside the 10. Well, Doug Johnson is up throwing in the Florida bullpen, if you will. Use a baseball analogy, appropriately, I think, for a baseball player. Langley did not do a very good job on that pooch kick. It's out of bounds at about the 20, and that's not as good, certainly, as Langley and the Dogs would have liked. So Florida, with plenty of time remaining, still trailing by 7, will send Doug Johnson to the field.
Gentlemen, our future rests on the success of this cookie.
Yes, CW, but what do we name it?
How about Wafericious?
Twisto cookie! I've got it! Chocolama!
What about you, Hurley?
Well,
Hurley, you're a genius.
Got milk?
Fellas, tonight we have with us a real winner.
Like Osmos from Great Southern Wood.
That's right. Our wood has a lifetime guarantee, and it comes to you clean and straight. But back to our honored guest, Steve Spurrier. Steve doesn't know this yet, but Coach, we voted you in. Let's give him the official welcome. Hello, Steve!
So remember, if it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it.
The best way to stay on top of everything going on inside the Gator athletic program is by subscribing to GatorBait, the only publication devoted to year-round Gator sports coverage. Each weekly edition includes in-depth analysis, scouting reports, player features, and exclusive recruiting news. Now you can get 32 issues, plus the Florida football and basketball yearbooks. Just call 1-800-782-3216 to subscribe today. That's 1-800-782-3216. Don't wait. Get GatorBait.
Well, this is a moment ago. Steve Spurrier, final instructions for Doug Johnson. Johnson came onto the field, was greeted by his teammates with pats on the back. Now let's see what the sophomore can do. A do-or-die situation for Florida's offense, and Johnson throws it deep for Jaquez Green. Almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Larry Mann, the sophomore from Atlanta.
And I'm really starting to wonder if Doug Johnson is having problems seeing over that offensive line, because Larry Mann is back there in great position as he throws it up for grabs once again. You know, and sometimes it's just tough to see over these big guys. There's the ball swatted at, which threw off the timing, but there's still just no way to get this ball complete to Jaquez as he comes in and becomes a defender.
No backs. Johnson back to throw on second down. Great protection. There's that linebacker, Greg Reich, is running wild back there, about 20, 25, 30 yards deep, making another play for Georgia.
And that's, you know, I mean, when you get a linebacker dropping that deep, you know, what you've got to do, you've got to bring that tailback out of the backfield instead of helping and just dump it off to him, because there can't be anybody there if they're running that deep with Jaquez.
Third down and 10. The clock is stopped with 6 minutes, 23 seconds to play in Georgia 24, Florida 17. McGriff was the intended receiver, but Bailey had him covered. It'll be fourth down and 10. And the Gators are going to have to punt it. Still plenty of time left, but Steve Spurrier will have to rely on his defense to get the ball back. Well, Johnson had hoped to turn Florida's fortunes offensively after Noah Brindise did march for 2 touchdowns earlier in the third quarter. But Brindise had not been effective. The Gator offense had not under Brindise for the last several possessions. And now Johnson not able to get a first down on that series. So it's still a 7-point Georgia lead. And Stevenson, end over end kick. Got a chance for a good return here by Greer. And Greer does bring it inside the 40 to about the 37 of Florida. Perfect punt to get a return on. Low line drive, rather short, 33 yards on the kick, 20 yards on the return. Plus 13 on that punt for Florida.
And everything starts to backfire on you. It's kind of tough, but this is where you find out the character of a football team. Fourth quarter, you've got about 6 minutes left to go in the ball game. The defense has been able to stop them one time. They need to stop them again, and then the Gators have got to find a way to move the ball down the field. You don't have to throw it every down. You've got Fred Taylor, who's been running wild in the second half. It ain't bad to give it to him. See if he can't clip off 10, 15 yards a clip.
Robert Edwards turns the corner, tiptoes up the sideline. Touchdown, Georgia. The Bulldogs take a 2-touchdown lead with less than 6 minutes to play in the football game.
Well, Robert Edwards has had the game of his life, his 4th touchdown of the day, as he's able to circle that whole Gator defense and then sprint down the sideline for a touchdown. They just do a good job of getting everybody logged in, and he makes a move. It looked like he's going to step out of bounds, but he doesn't. Picks up a block downfield from his big tight end and sprints into the end zone.
Langley's extra point into the upright and is no good. So it is still 30-17. And a little extracurricular shoving going on. A little frustration setting in for the Florida Gators. A lot of smiles on that Georgia sideline. The Bulldogs can smell the victory now with only 5:58 left, and Florida's offense under tremendous pressure now to deliver. Still ample time.
Well, the Gators came into this ball game a tremendous favorite, and have had success the last 7 times they played the Georgia Bulldogs. But today they have run into a buzzsaw, and with all the injuries, have been pretty hard pressed to stop this Georgia Bulldog offense, David.
Well, Steve Spurrier had Jesse Palmer warming up, the freshman, a Canadian who started the game against Auburn, so maybe we'll see a third quarterback when Florida's offense takes the field after the Georgia kick. There's Doug Johnson, Noah Brandeis, and a apprehensive Gator fan. Thad Bullard picks up the short kick. And Bullard is down at the 27-yard line. 30-17 Georgia. And here comes Jesse Palmer.
David, that was a good job on Thad Bullard's part of handling the squib kick. But what you'd like to see, once he's got the football, toss it back, pitch it back to one of those guys that are runners and go ahead and throw some blocks.
Well, we didn't see Fred Taylor on Florida's last offensive possession. Taylor is lined up behind the quarterback, and a handoff to Taylor. And somebody was offside, I think, for Georgia. It might have been 51 who made the tackle, Brandon Miller. Sure got back there in a hurry. Well, it could be illegal motion against Florida, too. We'll have to wait and see. Referee Bill Goss is working it out. And there seems to be significant discussion going on among the officials. They can't figure it out either.
Well, it looked like Miller was offside. He got a quick jump. It looked like the play is going to go against the Gators.
From the spot, I read the lips of one of the officials down there, so it might be a hold.
Personal foul.
Personal foul.
Face mask on the offense. The penalty will be from the spot of the foul, half the distance to the goal line.
Well, it's only the 3rd penalty assessed against Florida today, but it is a costly one.
And those are the kind of penalties that when you're behind in the ball game and you're trying to come from behind, is ill-advised. I mean, penalties is never advised, but, this is not the time to come up with penalties that set you back further.
Taylor Gets about 9 of the penalty yards back to the 20-yard line. Clock ticking, 5:27 left in the ball game. Remember, the Gators used 2 of their 3 second-half timeouts in the third quarter, so they only got 1 left. And they're down by 2 touchdowns. Palmer trying to hit Kareem over the middle and really had no chance to complete the pass. It'll be 3rd down for the Gators, and only 5 minutes and 1 second left in the game now. Well, you got to give Georgia credit, although, you know, the Gators, I'm sure, had an idea of what Georgia's defensive philosophy would be. They saw it at LSU. They saw it at Auburn 2 weeks ago. And obviously, this is the way that you get Florida into a difficult situation with its offense.
Right. You try not to give up the big plays. And Joe Kynes, the former Gator coach, you know, is noted for playing the soft zone, similar to what LSU did. And when they've got a front 4 that can get pressure on the quarterback, you know, there's no reason to bring 7.
Before the snap, offsides on the defense, penalties 5 yards.
Georgia penalized for the 5th time today. A lot of long faces on that Florida sideline. That Gator defense has surrendered 30 points to the Bulldogs today. The Gators have 2 downs to get 13 yards. Palmer scrambling out to his right. It will be 4th down and 13. And the Gators really have nothing to lose by going for the 1st down. They need 2 touchdowns to win the football game, and you know they're going to go for it here on 4th and 13.
I'll tell you, a couple times I like to see those quarterbacks when they get outside the pocket like that, David, instead of trying to make a great throw, just go ahead and tuck it under and try and get as much as you can. It's so critical that you need a 1st down. But every yard counts.
And the Gators will burn their final timeout, stopping the clock with 4:55 to play and needing 13 yards to keep their slim hopes alive.
Now, for your home and shop, one amazing blade that cuts through practically anything. This is new Multi-Disc. It's safe, it won't break or shatter. It's amazingly flexible. It will never bind or kick back your work. Multi-Disc cuts through this rock-hard ash baseball bat. It cuts through copper and iron pipes. Plastic pipes are cut off clean. There's no melting. Multi-Disc is diamond and carbide throughout. It's one of the best grinding wheels on the market. It shapes tile, grinds away paint, rust, and debris in seconds. Call toll-free or send for Multi-Disc now and start saving hundreds of dollars on single-purpose blades and wheels. Best of all, Multi-Disc will work on any rotary tool in your home or shop. Put it on your household drill, and it cuts like magic. Multi-Disc cuts like a blade and grinds like a wheel, and you can use it on any rotary tool you own. Multi-Disc sands Formica while it cuts so there's no chipped edges. Call or send now. Cut perfect angles and grind curves in ceramic tile. Cuts picture frame perfect moldings and trim. Hobbyists love it for detailing plastics, metal, and wood. Now, in this limited time offer, you get 2 Multi-Discs, a universal arbor to assure they'll fit all your rotary tools, and our unconditional money-back guarantee, all for only $12.98. Order now.
There's a new source for the latest on the Gators and Florida sports, SunshineNetwork.com, offering real-time scores, easy-to-read programming information, expert commentary from leading columnists around the state. SunshineNetwork.com, your web source for Florida sports. Georgia Bulldogs' last win against Florida. The coach was Dalen Hall. It was 1989. Georgia won the game 17-10 here in Jacksonville. The Gators need a 4th and 13 conversion to keep their hopes alive today. And they do not do it. Georgia takes the football. Kirby Smart has had a solid game for Joe Kynes' Bulldogs secondary. And now the inevitable begins to sink in, at least to thousands of fans at Alltel Stadium who head for the exits.
And I like what I see Steve Spurrier doing there. You know, he's getting with Jesse Palmer, talking to him about the read and what he should have done. You know, not really jumping on the young man because he did come in a very tough situation. And Steve did a good job of going over and showing him and talking to him about what he should be doing or what the read was.
Bobo hands off and a big hit by Tony George and Mike Harris. They combined to make a very solid tackle on Selma Galloway. Galloway bounces right back up and just run the clock. 4.5 minutes to play, a 30-17 Georgia Bulldog lead. It's certainly going to be the biggest win if Georgia holds on in Jim Donnan's brief head coaching career, his second season with the Bulldogs. He won some big games at Marshall as head coach of the Thundering Herd at the 1AA level. But has done a nice job making this Georgia football program competitive. Robert Edwards running hard inside the 15. He's got a Bulldog first down at about the 12-yard line.
And we're starting to see what happens to the teams that are normally losing the ball game. It looks like we've got Mike Harris down on the far side of the field. But the defenders are getting tied up with the blockers, and they're just not getting off the blockers as Robert Edwards runs right by Gator defenders. Once again, they're trying to run him to the left, have him circle the field. Harris takes on a couple blockers. Edwards turns it upfield, hits the seam.
Well, Harris wobbles off. The Gators knew that the LSU-Auburn, the trio of games, were going to be tough. But after a national championship season and the way Florida rolled early in this season, this team is, well, they're in shock right now to be looking at another defeat, losing 2 out of 3 during this very difficult stretch of the schedule. They'll have to regroup now and see what they can make out of this football season, because there's still a lot of football to be played.
A lot of football to be played. There's still an opportunity. You never know what's going to happen down the line. You might not have a shot at getting to that national championship game, but you know, anything can happen. Tennessee could lose a couple ball games here late, and you could jump back in the race. But right now, they don't control their own destiny.
This game not over yet, but Georgia, if they put one more in, it certainly would be approaching impossible stages. Georgia takes its final timeout. Right now, it's a pretty tough stretch to envision a Florida comeback, especially the way Georgia simply has the momentum and sitting there deep in Florida territory already with a 13-point lead. But just to expand on what you were talking about, Nat, with regard to the Southeastern Conference East Division race, Tennessee has 3 games in the conference left. Tennessee plays at Arkansas, at Kentucky, and at home against Vanderbilt. Certainly 3 winnable games, but Arkansas can be tough. Kentucky's got a good football team this year under Hal Mumme, and you know, they could suffer another loss. And Georgia has games left against Auburn, at Ole Miss. That's who the Bulldogs still play in the conference. And that rivalry with Auburn, even though Auburn lost and was shut out by Mississippi State on Saturday, anything can happen when Georgia and Auburn get together. So, well, crazier things have happened, but right now I think the Florida team just has to take a look at itself and try and get back to playing the kind of football they played earlier in the year.
And it's not a time for finger pointing or anything of that nature. It's more, you know, each guy looking in the mirror, looking at himself, saying, what could I have done? You know, where am I letting up at? And trying to, you know, put it back together so that they can have a successful end of the season.
to the fullback. That's Olandis Gary. And Brown takes him down at about the 7-yard line.
And what's kind of disturbing right now, I know this Gator defense is tired. They've been on the field all day. But when you start looking at Georgia clipping off 5 yards a clip just right up the middle, you wonder what's going on. I mean, one thing about a Gator football team is they've always fought till the end. And look like they're giving up, get pushed around even easier now than any time I've seen them play.
Well, Florida's offense won the game at Auburn. Despite the sputtering, the defense rather, despite a sputtering offense. But that didn't happen today as Gary batters into the end zone for another Georgia touchdown.
And that's just been typical all day today. Several defenders had an opportunity to make the play. As we look at Bobby Stoops there, I know he's got to be extremely disappointed. Came in, thought he had a good game plan to go up against these Bulldogs, and his defense has just not risen to the occasion.
Fresh legs. Gary has been on the sideline most of the afternoon, and he had some tired folks trying to wrap him up.
Olandis Gary just runs over 3 or 4 defenders. There you see takes on Tico Brown. He keeps good balance, keeps his feet moving, and then he breaks the tackle of 3 other defenders as he rolls into the end zone. 5 guys had a shot at him on that play to keep him out of the end zone.
A lot of frustration being released by the Georgia Bulldogs today. They have, with the exception of 1993 and 92, a close ball game here in Jacksonville then. Since 93, they have not been competitive in this series. And they haven't won, as I mentioned, since '89 against Florida. Extra point is good. It's 37-17. Georgia came in ranked number 14 in the country. They will surely make a large step forward in the national rankings after this impressive performance today against the Florida Gators.
Well, David, what you have to wonder is how much Keith Kelsey not being here today, not being able to step in for Dwayne Thomas, hurt this ball club. You eventually end up with Johnny Rutledge playing out of position, having to move from the will linebacker to the middle. Mike Peterson going down. I mean, when you start talking about losing 3 linebackers that are your key, and Keith Kelsey, by all right, played as much as Dwayne Thomas in the middle. So that had to be a big loss, him not being able to suit up to it.
Well, they lost Peterson, I think, on Georgia's first series.
I think it was.
Thomas went out in the first half with a shoulder injury. Kelsey's not even here.
And I think when you actually look at it, when you start to lose key people like that, it changes some of the calls that you would make as a defensive coordinator, because you don't have your veteran guys in there, the guys that you feel comfortable with, coming with all types of different blitzes.
Well, what's going to be disappointing afterwards in the aftermath is that the Gators came off the deck down 14-3 in the first half and took the lead at 17-14, and then offensively and defensively couldn't get the job done from that point on. And they had the upper hand at that point in the third quarter, and that really is what is disappointing to the Gators. Larry, to the sideline.
Oh, David, as you and Nat talk about this ball game, I keep thinking about this rivalry. When I started covering the Florida Gators late in the 70s, they couldn't win in Jacksonville. They couldn't beat Georgia. 3-7 in the 70s, 2-8 in the 80s, and 7-0 Florida under Steve Spurrier. But that's changed now, and the impact on this Florida program is going to be interesting to watch. Not only do they have to now view Georgia as a huge rival, which may have changed a little bit, this football team now has to adjust to the fact that for the first time in 4 years, they're out of the national championship running with regular season games still to be played.
Well, Carroll on the toss. That's a good point, Larry. The Gators, this program has not been in this situation for the last 4 or 5 years, where with 3 regular season games left, there is not at least a glimmer of hope for a national championship.
Well, anytime you lose 2 ball games and you lose it to conference foes, the first thing that it does is we all talk about national championships because the Gators have been in that hunt for the last 3 or 4 years. But it all starts with winning your conference, winning your division, and then trying to win the SEC and get into the hunt. And what they have not been able to do, even though they were early on was able to win the big ball game, here recently they have not been able to do it. versus LSU, and then here today against Georgia.
It'll be 3rd down and a yard with 1:56 to play. Well, in '92, the Gators lost early twice in the conference to Tennessee and Mississippi State back-to-back. They still battled back, managed to tie for the East Division lead, and represented the Eastern Division in the SEC championship game. But that was, I think, a little different in that it was 2 early season defeats as the passes complete to tight end Aaron Kennedy. And Florida had a chance psychologically to come back and build some momentum toward the end. Now you're going to have a Tennessee team that can smell an opportunity to represent the Eastern Division for the first time since divisional play began. And I think that Tennessee team, with all of its experience and with Peyton Manning at quarterback, will be very hard to beat, knowing that if they lose one, it's taken away from them now.
Well, they know that if they lose one, then they got nobody to blame but themselves. All before, it's been Florida that took it away from them. This time, they've been able to beat Georgia, shall I say, and Georgia is able to knock off Florida to help them out. So now it's up to them. You know, they've got the ball in their court. Georgia's sitting back now. They've got to take care of business and hope that somehow, some way, one of Tennessee opponents is able to knock them off, because they've only lost one ball game, and it was to Tennessee. For the Gators, though, David, and I've been in these situations before. Now it's all about pride. The fact of playing with a lot of pride and just trying to make plays and trying to finish the season on a good note.
A pass is intercepted by Larry Mann. And that will be the final nail.
And I'd like to think that ball actually slipped out of Jesse Palmer's hand, because he threw it up so high it looked like a punt coming down, where Larry Mann had plenty of time to react to it as he was trying to get the ball to Travis Taylor, I think, in the back of the end zone. But this ball is up in the air. It's like a punt. He's got time to fair catch it.
Well, it really makes you think, what does Steve Spurrier do regarding his quarterback situation next week?
Well, I think he's back to the drawing board. He's going to eventually have to pick one and go with it, whether it's going to be the young guy, Jesse Palmer, and try to bring him along, or Doug Johnson if he feels that he's the future. Starting the season, we all thought that Doug Johnson was going to be the apparent heir to the throne and be able to take this Gator football team to continued national prominence. But since the LSU game, he suffered a little bit, and today he didn't have a great ball game. He still went back to making the rookie mistakes that we saw early in the year.
Well, I tell you, it's not going to be a picnic next week, no matter who the quarterback is, because Vanderbilt's defense, total defense, is #1 in the Southeastern Conference. They're giving up, coming into Saturday's games, about 265 yards per game, and that is very stubborn defensively. They're always well coached.
Well, a lot of it will depend on this offensive line, and Jimmy Ray Stevens has had his problems with this offensive line, because each week he's having to line up different guys. You got 5 different guys each week with all the injuries and etc., and he just has not been able to get a guy or get an offensive line that stayed intact and was able to develop any continuity. And because of that, that's caused these Gators a lot of problems.
Let's go to Larry Vitale.
Okay, thank you very much, David. Coach, that was a tough ball game out there. Georgia played awfully well.
Georgia's just better than us. That's all you can say. They beat us everywhere you could.
Were the Gators emotional enough?
They're just better than us. We were ready to play. We got no excuses. They played better, coached better. Obviously, they're a better team than the Gators this year.
Florida coach Steve Spurrier obviously conceding defeat to this Georgia team, which took control of the ball game, as you guys mentioned. When it was 17-14 Florida, Georgia outscored the Gators by 23-0 over the last 18 to 20 minutes of this ball game. David?
All right, and I think the coach summed it up pretty good, Larry. The best team won the football game. And the score